Chapter 2562 Entering the Night. Chapter 2562 Entering the Night. If he could be saved, Long Fei would have brought Yi Yorong away a long time ago. But his current cultivation was simply not good enough. So what if he could defeat Zhao Haotian? It was completely useless. Furthermore, Long Fei was very clear in his heart that if he were to go at this time, Yi Yorong would definitely not follow him. He understood Yi Yorong's personality very well. She would rather suffer the most than let Long Fei get hurt. This place was not the Xianyu sect, it was the City of God, it was the Zhao family's territory. Long Fei turned and looked at secret area of deep hell. Xiao Dai said anxiously, "Along, what are you thinking? If we do not go now, then we will not be in a hurry. Sister Yorong has already knelt for quite a few hours." Big Ul said, "Let's go all out. Once we rescue Big Sister, we'll hide in the wilderness and deep in the mountains so that they won't be able to find us." Tang Renjie grinned, "Your imagination is too beautiful. You think we can break into the palace to save people? You guys don't understand how strong the Zhao family is. Don't say that we can't save him. Even if we can save him from the Imperial City, we won't be able to leave the God capital." And Tang Renjie looked at Long Fei with an intoxicated expression. However, his heart was very clear, and he said, "I told you guys a long time ago that my lord would not go save someone. If it were me, I wouldn't go either." Xiao Dai glared at him and said fiercely, "You dog, what did you say? Tell me again." Tang Renjie immediately shrunk his neck, pretended to be weak and afraid, and tried to hide behind Kai Lina, but he was pushed back by the sharp steel wings on his back. Kai Lina said, "Why don't I go? With my speed, I should be able to escape." Kai Lina's speed was extremely fast, there was no doubt about that. Long Fei shook his head and said, "It's useless." Tang Renjie said again, "It's more than useless, it's absolutely useless. When you entered the Imperial City, did you not notice the gigantic boundary's defensive formation above your heads? Other than defending against the enemy's attack, it can also prevent people from escaping. The boundary is controlled by Zhao Wuji. No matter how fast you are, you won't be able to be faster than him. It's better not to think too much. Let's go back to our homes and look for our mothers." Tang Renjie wanted to retreat. He was not stupid, he had already analyzed it thoroughly. Save her? Impossible. A dead end. Xiao Dai's eyes darkened with killing intent. Tang Renjie immediately said, "I was just saying, I don't have a home, nor do I have a mother. Yes, I don't even know how I came to this world." No one paid any attention to him. Xiao Dai looked at Long Fei and said, "Are we just going to watch Sister Yorong suffer like this?" Long Fei said in a low voice, "I am currently not their match at all, so I basically have no way of saving them, nor can I save them. The consequence of saving others was that more people would die. He didn't want to see any one of them die. Strength. It was power. If he was strong enough, then none of this would be a problem, but he." Long Fei's heart was abnormally heavy and uncomfortable. At this moment, the 17 sons of demon emperors also flew into the air one after another. The great senior brother asked, "What about us? Is there any chance of survival?" "Yes. Gamble with our lives. Our magic tribe has never been so sullen. What happened today? Wasn't it just the Zhao family? Isn't he just an expert of Emperor Zhenwu's realm? Just do it." The 17 people landed and stood in front of Long Fei. Every one of them was in high spirits, and their eyes were filled with fighting spirit. When they returned from Sky Sect of Ling Clan to their residences, the 17 of them were extremely agitated. They were here to help Long Fei. However, Long Fei was bullied and crushed in front of them. How were they going to meet the Demon Emperor in the future? "Ha ha ha." The thin monkey laughed excitedly and said, "Boss, we're just going to save them. Is our strength enough now?" "Exactly. With the help of Magic Tribe, saving Sister Yorong shouldn't be too difficult." Xiao Dai said as well. Tang Renjie said, "Every single one of the 17 sons of the Demon Emperor can take charge on their own. If they were to use it, even the powerhouse of the Emperor Zhenwu's realm would be able to contend against one or two of them." He could not help but look towards Long Fei and said, "There might really be a chance. As long as they can hold Zhao Wuji back, don't let him open the city barrier boundary and give us time to save him." The great senior brother said, No matter how powerful Zhao Wuji is, he wouldn't dare to do anything to us. His Zhao family can't afford to offend the magic tribe right now, so after you leave the city, you should immediately head to the magic tribe. As long as you enter the magic tribe's territory, you will be safe. Everyone looked at Long Fei, brimming with energy and vitality. This plan was really feasible. However, this was not what Long Fei wanted. What Long Fei wanted to do was to ruthlessly stomp the Zhao family, and that old demoness, Yi Yorong's master, to death under his foot. Save him. Sending him away. This was not his character. Moreover, it looks like a good plan, but people would die, and many more would die. The 17th son of Devil represented the magic tribe, but attacking the imperial city was a serious crime. Zhao Wuji would definitely not let them live. Then there was the process of saving someone. Let alone the Zhao family's powerhouse, even the old demoness herself was enough to crush them all. Since the old granny was determined to marry Yi Yorong into the Zhao family, she wouldn't let anyone destroy this wedding. No way. Long Fei shook his head. I can't save him. Xiao Dai said, Along, what are you afraid of? In the past, you often said not to be terrified, even if you did, but now that the sister Yorong is about to be married off, how can you be terrified? Xiao Dai was also somewhat angry. Tang Renjie said, he's not cowering, he's calm. As long as there's a true martial emperor or a powerhouse, we will all die. Xiao Dai said, so what if I die? Which one of us is afraid of death? Who's afraid of death here? If you're afraid of death, you won't be here. 17th son of Devil was already prepared. Die. He had never been afraid. Xiao Dai, Thin Monkey, Big Head and the others rushed out to find Long Fei and were all prepared. It was the same for Tang Renjie. Kai Lina was the same. At this moment, as if activated, the system suddenly sounded out. Ding. System notification, strength filled. Ding. System notification, activating party mode. 2 consecutive notifications sounded. Long Fei's heart trembled slightly, so that's how it is. At this moment, the golden exclamation mark above everyone's heads disappeared. He became excited. Long Fei looked at them and asked, do you guys believe me? Of course. You're the boss, of course we trust you. You are the youngest junior brother. No matter what you say, we will believe you. Everyone looked at Long Fei's eyes shone with a glimmer of hope, just like a fallen person regaining his spirits. Long Fei said, thank you for your trust. It's a big one tonight. Chapter 2563, The Domain of Heaven. Chapter 2563, The Domain of Heaven. We're ready. Ha ha ha. Boss, I was waiting for you to say that. Youngest junior brother, tell me, what are you going to do? Who are you going to attack first? All of them were extremely excited, thinking that Long Fei was going to bring them to the palace and do something big that would shake the world. After all, it was the imperial palace, the base of the Zhao family, the strongest power in the Zhenwu continent. However, Long Fei walked towards the secret area of deep hell and stepped onto it. Ha! 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 Everyone was stunned. What was he doing? Not just them. Long Fei was also startled, because the power from the secret area of deep hell bounced him back once again. What's going on? Ding. System notification. Unable to enter due to insufficient strength. Not enough. Long Fei looked at the team system. In that moment he had already gathered all of the 17th son of Devil, Xiao Dai, Thin Monkey, the big size Tang Renjie, and Kai Lina into the group. It's already like this, and he still lacks strength. Then, F***CK. Who else is missing? Long Fei's brows tightened, and then the idea moved, and said, Transformers, come out. Rumble. In the beast space, the Transformers rushed out. Under the light of the lightning, the 2 heads, and the entire body of golden armor made the Transformers look especially sinister. Xiao Dai and the other 2 were completely stunned. Is this the King Kong from before? He became so powerful too. Ha ha ha. Long Fei moved his hand and added the Transformers into the group. It was also at this time. Long Fei walked towards the dark crack once again, and roared in his heart, Is your strength enough now? If it wasn't enough, he would summon the alien queen. Buzz. Long Fei stepped into secret area of deep hell, and at this moment, his body was also engulfed by darkness. Then it completely disappeared. Transformers was startled. Boss, didn't you say that you were going to do something big? What's going on? Zhao Haotian, and that old granny, I've been unhappy for a long time. Seeing Long Fei being swallowed by the darkness, he did not think too much and charged forward with a single step. No one knew what Long Fei was doing either. Moreover, they had no idea what kind of dark crack was in front of them. Seeing Long Fei suddenly being swallowed, all of their faces tensed up. However, just as the Transformers was about to rush into the darkness, all of their bodies suddenly flashed with many lights, just like teleportation circle. What's going on? What's the situation? What happened? Whoosh, whoosh. Another voice vanished, and another voice vanished. The 20-something figures all disappeared. Mother, are there any immortals in the sky? No. Then why did someone disappear from the sky? A woman looked up at the sky, but didn't see anything. She then clapped her hands and said, I didn't learn anything else but to learn how to lie. Woo woo woo. The child started crying. I clearly saw that the group of people in the sky had suddenly disappeared. They must be deities. Not many people paid attention to the sky. No one paid attention to the dark crack either, because the code would restore the dark crack, and after daybreak, everything in the Zhenwu continent would return to normal. However, two people noticed. On the god capital's wall, two people stood there. Gui Qingshan said slightly, Ling Xian, what do you think? Yi Luxian shook his head, I don't understand, that is a world beyond the sky, a world beyond the sky. If we enter, we would probably enter hell. Why would he bring so many people into the dark crack at a time like this? Did Long Fei discover something? Gui Qingshan said, we are also going. Yi Luxian said, we old bones can't take the torture, and furthermore, Long Fei gives me a feeling that I'm about to undergo a metamorphosis. Gui Qingshan said, it could also be death. Opportunity and risk coexisted. Luck was luck. If he was unlucky, then he would die. To Long Fei, he didn't have a choice. He had to go even if he didn't want to, because this might be his only hope. He only had one night's worth of time. If he couldn't increase his power, he probably wouldn't have another chance in his life. He wanted to save Yi Yorong. A woman who wanted to save him, similarly. He was saving her too. Because, with Yi Yorong's identity, she was a woman from one of the 7 beauty diagrams. If she were to be married off, it would mean that Long Fei had not protected her well, and at that time, the system will unilaterally confirm that Long Fei has failed the mission. This sort of super quest failed. The penalty may be more powerful than ever. Even. Directly exterminate. Rumble. Rumble. The lightning from the dark crack continued to wreak havoc. As the two of them looked at the dark crack, Yi Luxian heaved a heavy sigh of relief and muttered to himself, hopefully it's an opportunity. All right. We only have one night left. I should also talk to Supreme God. Yi Luxian said indifferently. Gui Qingshan said, it's time to talk. The old lady from Ming clan has gone crazy. There is such a master in this world. I really don't understand. Yi Luxian did not speak further, as his figure disappeared into the distance. Gui Qingshan muttered, after 17 years had passed, I once again stepped into the divine capital. I am here to take back everything. And then, Gui Qingshan also disappeared. Rumble. 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 The sound of thunder was ear-piercing. It was hard to imagine, but it was as if Long Fei had entered a time and space tunnel. He resisted with all his might. A few minutes later. Boom. Long Fei's body suddenly became light. Phew. Come in. Secret area of deep hell. In that moment, it was as if a barrier of power had been broken through. It was a dark and gloomy world that entered through the turbulent flows of time and space. His vision was blurry. There was no sun. There was no moon. Even the air was impeccably turbid, as if it was a plane still in the process of being born. It wasn't mature enough yet. But, the moment Long Fei entered, He immediately felt a large wave of aura. Long Fei looked down and could not see anything clearly. There's a haze in this world. It was also at this time. Buzz. A humming sound could be heard. Transformers was the first to descend, followed by others. Boss, what is this place? Youngest junior brother, where are we? Long Fei said, secret area of deep hell. Suddenly, Tang Renjia frowned, he took a whiff, and his scalp started to feel numb. Below are all demon beastess, the most primitive demon beastess. This is a realm of death. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curved up as he became excited. We came to the right place. Chapter 2564, This place is too abnormal. Chapter 2564, This place is too abnormal. Excited. Long Fei couldn't see the situation on the ground clearly, but he believed that Tang Renjia's nose was much more sensitive than a dog's. He said that the most primitive and cruel demon beastess were below them. No mistake could not be made. The most primitive demon beast. Demon beast ancestor? What kind of demon beast is that? Long Fei's eyes flashed with a light as his body sank. He fell down from the air. Everyone was taken aback. Tang Renjia said, "Are you crazy?" At this time, the Transformers heavily shouted, "Boss, I'll lead the way." The huge body fell down heavily. Kai Lina spread out his wings, and a purple light flashed. Su. She was the fastest as she quickly caught up to Long Fei. 17th son of Devil smiled and said, "No matter what you do, we will always accompany you." The 17 magic captains all rushed down. Xiao Dai, Thin Monkey, and the Big Size Man all followed along. He looked at the crack in the sky, then looked at the surrounding darkness that trembled. Damn, this old man is going all out. He followed suit. Boom. Kai Lina was the first to land on the ground. His 2 wings rotated with a hualala sound, and his 7 to 8 meter long wings flickered with a purple light. In the dark grey light, they looked like torches. It also reflected the surroundings clearly. Hiss, 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 hiss. One by one, ear-piercing hissing sounds could be heard as the surrounding was densely packed with giant snake gods. They wriggled their long tails, but had all sorts of strange shapes growing on their heads. Leopard, tiger, elephants, even dinosaurs. Every single one of them was unusually vicious, and the moment Kai Lina landed, a demon beast immediately charged over like black lightning. It was extremely fast. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. "Kai Lina, be careful." Kai Lina flapped his wings, immediately wrapping himself up. Her pair of wings had been upgraded by god powder. It was as hard as a super artifact's wings. However, bang, bang, with a loud sound, Kai Lina was directly sent flying, and his pair of wings caved in. Kai Lina's gaze tensed up, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Just a single strike was enough to cause such powerful damage. It was also at this time. Transformers roared, roar. Both of his fists sunk, King Kong powerful fists. Instantly, another demon beast rushed out. Other than the snake body, half of its body had the appearance of a turtle, and it used its body to block Transformers' fist. The power of the King Kong powerful fist exceeded 1,000,000. Even the powerhouse of the Zhenwu realm didn't dare to go up against it. However, rumble. The strength stripes burst out. The demon beast did not move at all. On the contrary, the joints of Transformers' fists cracked and popped. This defense. There was no limit to the number of perverts. 2 fears. Long Fei's mind tensed up. Looking at the gashes on the demon beast's head, they were not blood red but purple. What is going on? Moreover, none of these demon beasts shone with a golden light. In other words, there was no boss here. If a demon beast that wasn't at the level of a boss was this strong, how abnormal would it be? Boom. Boom. The 17 magic captains and Xiao Dai's group all landed. The Transformers revealed a pained expression and said faintly, "Boss, these demon beasts are not to be trifled with." Kai Lina was the same. Long Fei said, "Don't move." These fellows were the most primitive demon beasts. From the looks of it, their bodies were probably evolving, and the secret area of Deep Hell's evolution should have started with a snake. Long Fei walked forward as the aura on his body surged. Once the Ju-Q broken sword appeared. The skyfire moved. His steps were like the wind as he quickly rushed forward. Shua, a half-snake, half-leopard demon beast rushed forward. Without waiting for Long Fei to use his full strength, it had already rushed to Long Fei's front, opening its bloody mouth, its fangs flashing with a cold light as it bit towards Long Fei's neck. So fast. However, I'm not someone to be trifled with. Hellfire. Instantly, the super force of Ming Clan and the heavenly fire were merged and released. Rumble. The incomparably strong flames instantly engulfed the half-snake, half-leopard, half-demon beast. Woo! Hoo! Mad screams rang out. Long Fei looked at the damage that floated up above its head, and his heart tightened. Damn it, what kind of defense is this? The damage from Hellfire could be said to be very high. However, the damage they caused was all in single digit. 3, 5, 7 none of them dealt more than 10 points of damage. One had to know that Hell's damage could maim a Zhenwu realm's powerhouse. This place. Too savage. Long Fei did not stop there. While the demon beast was groaning in pain, he attacked continuously, but he did not stop there. It was useless, his attacks couldn't do any damage at all. It's all MS. This feeling was as if he had just entered a newbie game. It was as if he was holding a wooden sword and killing a boss, but the boss didn't even look at him. Other than the Hellfire which could slightly injure it, Long Fei's 9th level Mahayana was completely useless. This secret world. This exceeded Long Fei's expectations. I can't find any flaws. Long Fei quickly bounced back. He tried everywhere on his body, but no flaws could be found. The only possible weakness was that these guys were abnormally afraid of pain. Otherwise, what kind of damage could be so painful? The damage from the Hellfire continued. The surrounding demon beast also seemed to be attracted by this ball of flames, and all of them stared blankly at the demon beast within the flames, unable to launch any attacks towards Long Fei and the others for a moment. Chief Captain said, "Let me try." Shua. Zhong Xian's body floated into the air, and his aura turned purple. In that instant, a bolt of purple lightning struck down, landing directly on the head of the demon beast. Boom. 10. A damage floated up, wanting to be stronger than Long Fei, the chief captain. I'll give it a try too. Me too. In an instant, 17 magic captains S were activated, surrounding the demon beast and attacking in a frenzy. However, the highest damage dealt was still 10 points of damage on the great senior brother. Other than the senior brother S of the Zhenwu realm, the rest of the people who were with Long Fei were the same, unable to cause any harm. His strength was not enough to break through the defense. That was awkward. So many people surrounding and attacking one demon beast, but it was actually this kind of scene. This made Long Fei feel that he was a newbie in the beginner village. How could this be? No reason. Even if he's strong, he shouldn't be this strong, right? Long Fei was puzzled. How could a demon beast that was not a boss be this strong? Or could it be? Was this the power of the most primitive demon beast? Thinking of the world outside the Zhenwu continent, thinking of the universal realm, Long Fei's scalp tingled. Those people from those worlds, how strong were the demon beast? At this moment, the half-snake, half-leopard demon beast suddenly let out a miserable cry. The purple gash on his head had been seen through. Long Fei was startled. Is he dead? The system also chimed in. Ding. Chapter 2565 Oxhead Explosion. Chapter 2565 Oxhead Explosion. Why did he die so quickly? Furthermore, their damage was extremely low. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Primordial Snake Demon for obtaining 100,000 experience, 100,000 true chi points, and 1 arrogant god energy value point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Primordial Force of Variation. Do you wish to use it? 2 notifications sounded. Long Fei was stunned. It took a long time for the system to recover from its shock. At this moment, his tears were about to come out as he said, "System, you're my brother by blood. 100 million points in experience points, you're providing me with coal in the middle of a snowstorm. I'm about to cry. 100 million experience points. Furthermore, Long Fei had also noticed that the demon beast only had 100 points of HP. Was this the weakness of the demon beast? The most primitive demon beast's attack, defense, and speed had all evolved, but yet his health point hasn't evolved. Health point is its weakness. At this time, 17th Son of Devil looked at the demon beast on the ground and let out a heavy breath. It's finally dead. This guy is too difficult to kill. What is it? Not waiting for them to finish, the surrounding primitive demon beast that was eyeing him covetously suddenly moved. He rushed forward like a swarm of bees. In the blink of an eye, the dead demon beast did not even have bones left, it had been completely eaten. Long Fei's heart trembled. Other than health point, their intelligence is also their weakness. If it was said that this secret world was still in the nurturing stage, then everything here was at its most primitive stage, just like a place without any pollution. Only when threatened would they instinctively counterattack and defend. Heh. I'm rich. With such a huge group of demon beast, being able to kill them one by one would give 100 million experience. Zhenwu realm. 40 is enough. Tonight, even Emperor Zhenwu's realm would be easy. Immediately, Long Fei replied heavily, and said, all of you don't move. These fellows are a little special, you definitely cannot rashly launch an attack. Chief Captain asked, Little Junior, what are these demon beast? Long Fei said, primal snake demons, they were all evolved from snakes. Maybe this is a plane created by the inheritance of the ancient world snake demon, it's just that it hasn't been formed yet. Long Fei explained. And then, he attacked again. Just as he expected, only one demon beast out of the large group of demon beast rushed out. The Ju-Q sword in Long Fei's hand slashed along with the Skyfire sword Qi. 1 inch it barely managed to inflict some damage, causing Long Fei's left arm to go numb from the shock. He quickly retreated. It was also at this time that Long Fei shouted, do it, surround and beat it up. The 17th Son of Devil immediately surrounded them. Transformers, Kai Lina also rushed forward. Xiao Dai looked at Long Fei and anxiously asked, Along, why are we wasting time here? We should go and save the Sister Yi right now. She didn't understand. Long Fei said, Sister Xiao Dai, trust me, I will definitely save her. One night, he wanted to defy the heavens and change fate. Zhenwu realm. Zhao Wuji. The old witch of the Emperor Zhenwu's realm? Wait. Kong Kim, block its attack. Kai Lina, hold it back. Please attack crazily. 2 minutes later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Primordial Snake Demon for obtaining 100,000 experience, 100,000 true chi points, and 1 arrogant god energy value point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Primordial Force of Variation to activate and fuse. Another 2 notifications sounded. His experience points had increased a lot, and it was visible with the naked eye. At the same time, Long Fei also looked at the Primordial Force of Variation and asked, what is this? Item, Original Force of Variation grade? Attribute. Description. All unknown. Long Fei moved his body and said, merge. Whatever it is, fuse it together and you'll know. However, the system notification popped up. Ding. System notification. Player cannot fuse. Unable to fuse them. Why? Long Fei did not understand, and the system did not give him an explanation. Looking at the approaching Transformers, Long Fei moved his body and took out the ball of Force of Variation. King Kong, can you fuse with it? Transformers looked at the ball of power in Long Fei's hands and didn't think too much about it. Buzz. Suddenly, the most primitive form of energy fiercely bounced off his body. A blast of air shot out. Everyone was startled as they looked at Transformers. Transformers' body exploded loudly. Catcher, catcher. It was as if a large machine was operating in his body, and also like bones breaking. Transformers revealed a pained expression, and his eyebrows knitted tightly. Long Fei immediately asked, King Kong, did something happen? King Kong waved his hands and said, no. Power, such a strong power. Boom. While he was speaking, Another ferocious head grew out from his neck. It directly became 3 heads. Not only that, his body was also transforming at a maddening pace. It became incredibly thick. A hand pierced through his body. Boom. Another hand broke through his body. In just half a minute, Transformers became a 3-headed 6-armed man, and his cultivation at the peak of heaven stage stepped into the divine level. Everyone was dumbfounded. Long Fei did the same as he muttered in his heart, the most primitive force of variation, the F***K. Isn't this too damn strong? One must know that the heaven-rank demon beast was equivalent to a Mahayana realm, and its power directly broke through the shackles and stepped into the divine level. This kind of thing only existed in legends. What kind of power is this? What did you give him just now? Holy **T. Has this guy transformed? Wow, so cool. Isn't this too cool? Everyone was discussing and were shocked by the change in Transformers' body and his chi. At the same time, everyone looked at Long Fei, waiting for the answer. Even the evolving Transformers was looking at Long Fei, saying, "Boss, what did I swallow just now?" Actually, other than knowing the name of this power, Long Fei knew nothing at all. It was just that he could not fuse them, which was why he let the Transformers try. He did not expect that it would bring about such a huge change. And then, Long Fei took out another piece of the most primitive force of variation and said, "There's still one here, who wants to try it?" Everyone looked at the ball of power in Long Fei's hands. Long Fei said seriously, "This is the energy from the demon beast. I tried it myself, but it couldn't be merged. I don't know if it's because the human can't fuse it, or if it's something only the demon beast can fuse. There are risks." Everyone was watching. The big guy scratched his head and said innocently, "Boss, let me give it a try." Long Fei said, "All right." The big size man wanted to help Long Fei very much, but his cultivation was only Golden Protector level now. He could not help Long Fei at all. Thus, walking forward, he followed the example of the Transformers and swallowed the most primitive power. The next second, boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions could be heard, and every time one of the explosions occurred, the aura emitted by the big guy became stronger. He had broken through a whole new level. He didn't know how long he thought about it. The big-sized guy's chi turned directly into Zhenwu realm. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. A red light flashed in Long Fei's eyes. It was as though his body had been injected with a ton of chicken blood. "Ha ha ha. I made it, I made it, I made it big. F***CK. Zhenwu Realm Army, I am only asking, who else is there?" The 5th chapter, thank you for your support. Chapter 2566, All of Zhenwu Realm. Chapter 2566, All of Zhenwu Realm. A single force of variation was able to turn a war beast of heaven level into a god level. He had directly turned a Golden Protector level warrior into a Zhenwu realm. How amazing was this? It was hard to imagine. To create a Zhenwu realm army? Crush the entire capital? This scene. Long Fei's entire body was boiling. He didn't dare to continue thinking about it, because that scene was too exciting for him. God's sect gathering? Zhao family? Old witch, just you wait. Long Fei clenched both his fists tightly, and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. It gave him hope. It didn't matter if he couldn't integrate. Only if his brothers were strong enough would that be enough. Moreover, he could obtain experience, 100 million experience for a demon beast. He only needed 40 demon beasts to level up. If every single demon beast could release there, that would mean that Long Fei could create 40 Zhenwu realm powerhouses. Boss, my cultivation. The big guy was so excited that he couldn't speak. His tongue was tied in a knot, and he was completely stupefied. Like a ghost or god, he had somehow stepped into a realm that he did not even know about. Thin Monkey asked excitedly, "How do you feel?" The big guy said, "It's just that. There is an endless amount of power in my body, as if I had activated my most primitive form of power. Too impressive. My words now seem to have power gushing out of my body. It's really amazing." Chief Captain said, "Zhenwu realm, is your pubes a spiral like a star disk?" The big guy immediately nodded. Yes, it has been spinning. It's the center of my power. Chief Captain said in shock. Then it can't be wrong. Congratulations, you are now a super expert of the Zhenwu realm. Big Ul's eyes went blank. Me? Zhenwu realm? No, that's impossible, right? Everyone looked at the big guy in shock. They were all dumbfounded. In an instant, the elixir turned into a Zhenwu realm. This was so abnormal that it could not be described. It was the same for Long Fei. This is called leveling up. Is this called a breakthrough? This is F*King amazing. To be able to instantly level up to 99 levels with just one slash. Awesome. The Zhenwu realm's characteristic is that it has the star disk whirlpool. At the center of your power, you have already activated the star disk whirlpool, so there's no doubt that you are now the Zhenwu realm. Moreover, I can feel the aura from your body. And then, Chief Captain looked at Long Fei and said, Junior brother, is this the reason why you brought us here? Long Fei was slow. Chief Captain said, a strand of power can transform a person. This is truly breaking out of their cocoon and becoming a butterfly. Ha ha ha. It's going to be a big fight tonight. All junior brothers, listen up. The 16 magic captains slightly trembled. The great senior brother said in a deep voice, cooperate fully with little junior brother. Tomorrow, the God sect gathering will make the world tremble for us. Ha! The 16 of them let out a loud shout. Xiao Dai looked at Long Fei and asked, Along, is this your plan? Do you want to turn us all into Zhenwu realm and fight a battle to the death with the Zhao family tomorrow? Thin Monkey's face was full of excitement as he said, Boss, isn't this too awesome? Tang Renjie said, ha ha ha. I never thought that I would have the chance to step into the Zhenwu realm, ha ha ha. I feel so excited just thinking about it. I won't need to bring any money to pick up girls in the future, since all the beauties are stuck here, ha ha ha. Was this his plan? Long Fei didn't have a plan from the start. He just wanted to find a place to level up, that's all. But the most primitive force of variation greatly shocked Long Fei. It didn't matter to him whether he could devour it or not, as long as his brothers could break through it was the same. Now that the big size man had broken through the Zhenwu realm, Long Fei looked at the remaining people, clenching his fists. Let's go kill him. I want all of my friends, brothers, and people who are related to me to become the super powerhouse of the Zhenwu realm. Ha ha ha. Kill. In that instant, Long Fei yelled as he heavily jumped out. Whoosh. With a single demon beast rushing out, Long Fei was able to take it head-on. Boom. In the instant that the primitive demon beast attacked, 17th son of Devil immediately surrounded and attacked. Taking the lead, he said solemnly, Come, now, let's look at my King Kong powerful fists. The big guy also jumped up. I have too much strength right now, I have no place to put it. I'm going to torture it. Boom, boom, boom. A few minutes later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei. The system beep rang. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining primordial force of variation. After exploding with this power, Long Fei immediately took it out and asked, Who's going to fuse with it this time? Everyone looked at Long Fei. Long Fei looked at the great senior brother and said, Great senior brother, you are the main force in raising your strength. The chief captain did not hold back and said, Okay, 9th junior brother, you go fuse with them first. 9th junior brother walked forward, and just like the big size, directly swallowed the most primitive force of variation into his body, followed by the same reaction as the big size. All the strength in his body burst forth. A loud bang echoed out from within his body. Buzz. An aura of Zhenwu realm exploded from his body. 9th junior brother's cultivation level was originally 9th level Mahayana. With just that, he had already broken through. Chief Captain asked, What do you feel? 9th junior brother muttered, It's too fast, I can't feel it. However, just like the great senior brother had said, my pubes had turned into a star wheel vortex. My entire body has an inexhaustible power. This kind of feeling. It's really great. No wonder there's only a difference of one level between Mahayana realm and another person's strength by leaps and bounds. Yet another person had stepped into the Zhenwu realm. Ferocious. Everyone present was excited. It was unbelievable, but at this time, they didn't think too much about it. They were willing to give up everything to make a breakthrough and gain great power. All a martial practitioner's life, they had pursued the highest level of power. This was the meaning of a martial artist's life. Becoming stronger, constantly becoming stronger. As they were speaking, the demon beast that was hunted down was attacked by the surrounding demon beast once again. It was instantly dismembered, and in a blink of an eye, not even its bones were left. After they finished eating, they quietly stood there and changed. Very strange. Eating corpses of the same kind probably would not happen often in the demon beast realm. Even if there was one, it wouldn't be like this. What was this about? At the moment, no one was thinking about this. Everyone was too excited to think about it. Every time these demon beasts devoured a similar body, they would evolve a little. It was just that Long Fei and the others did not notice their evolution in the darkness. Long Fei and the others could become stronger by consuming the most primitive force of variation. Similarly, they were also becoming stronger after devouring their own kind. And it was rapidly evolving. Chapter 2567 Long Fei's Breakthrough. Chapter 2567 Long Fei's Breakthrough. Boom. Boom. His strength rumbled, and his aura abruptly changed. Zhenwu realm. Ha ha ha. I broke through as well. Another magic captains became excited. He had broken through again. In just a few seconds, his strength had undergone a tremendous change, and the aura on his body had also turned into Zhenwu realm. This speed was simply too fast. Just like a level scroll. As long as he crushed it, it would immediately become the level of the scroll. This speed was much faster than Long Fei's. Compared to Long Fei, it was a little tough. He could only rely on hunting the demon beast to gain experience one by one, slowly stacking them on top of the other. He wasn't in a hurry, and so was he when his brothers broke through. During this period of time, he tried fusing them a few times. None of them could. It was as if his body was rejecting this power. Very strange. Every time the most primitive force of variation entered the body, a surge of energy would immediately repel it. The system also instantly informed that the fusion had failed. Long Fei couldn't tell what he meant either. The feeling it gave him was that the power in his body was rejecting the most primitive force of variation. After trying a few times, Long Fei didn't try again. Continue. A few minutes passed. Boom. Another primitive demon beast fell. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining primordial force of variation. Do you wish to fuse it? Long Fei took out the power he had exploded out and asked, who's next? Boom, boom, boom. Another powerhouse of the Zhenwu realm was born. It feels so good. This is too great, I can't wait to get out now. I want to see who dares to be so arrogant in front of us. If more than 20 powerhouse from the Zhenwu realm attack together, who can block it? Even the powerhouse of the true martial emperor would not be able to stop it, right? Heh. Everyone was excited. Xiao Dai walked to Long Fei's side and asked, Along, why are you not fusing with me? We can all fuse, why can't you? What's the reason? That's right, junior brother. You're the only one left now who is still a Mahayana realm. Boss, why can't you fuse them? You're not lying to us and let us fuse together first, right? Right now, they were all Zhenwu realm. Only Long Fei was left. If he could even break through, why couldn't Long Fei do so? Long Fei was moved as he laughed. There's no other reason, it might be my innate talent or the reason behind my potential. But you don't have to worry, I will definitely break through. I'm just 2 billion experience points away. Long Fei muttered in his heart as he looked at the experience slot. Right. Long Fei did not want to worry everyone, so she changed the topic and said, Great senior brother, I will give you the primordial force of variation later. You have long been a Zhenwu realm, why don't you see if you can fuse it? That was a problem. At the beginning, there were no extra force of variation to try. Could the powerhouse that was originally a Zhenwu realm fuse with it? If it was possible, what level could it be raised to? Could he break through into the Emperor Zhenwu's realm again? If that was the case, then it was enough to overturn the entire world. Zhao family? He would only be ravaged by them. The chief captain did not refuse and said, "All right." Long Fei said, "Continue, continue." Boom. Long Fei went forward to lure the beast, as a primitive demon beast charged forward. Without waiting for Long Fei's attack to fall, it began to launch an attack. Boom. Long Fei's body was immediately sent flying. The top of his head only had a little bit of HP remaining, and this strike almost killed him. Long Fei's heart sank. Damn, my strength has increased by several times. He quickly consumed a handful of healing pills. The spring of life was also frantically replenishing Long Fei's health point. Long Fei reminded everyone, "This guy is a bit more powerful, everyone be careful." However, when the 20-odd Zhenwu realm experts attacked together, that demon beast could not withstand at all. Although the damage dealt was still only in numbers like before, the demon beast's health had not changed, it still had 100 purple points of HP. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1200,000,000 experience points when killing Primordial Demon Beast, 100,000 true chi points, and 1 arrogant god energy value point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Primordial Force of Variation. Do you wish to fuse it? As expected, the experience points has increased by quite a bit. Is this the demon beast's level increase? Long Fei thought. Carefully looking at the demon beast in the darkness, Long Fei did not notice any change. The only change was the bodies of these demon beasts were originally half snake, half demon, but now they were more like snakes, as if they were evolving in the direction of snakes. Wasn't it supposed to evolve all kinds of demon beast? Could it be a reverse evolution? Reverse evolution? Long Fei couldn't understand it for a moment, and his current focus wasn't on this either. What he was thinking about right now was how to kill more demon beast and level up as soon as possible. He definitely had to get the invitation card participating in the Gods Sect gathering by tomorrow night. Great Senior Brother, try it. Long Fei passed a burst of power to the Great Senior Brother. Chief Captain was the same as them as well, and he immediately swallowed it. From his throat, a ray of red light slowly melted like an inner core of a demon beast, and slowly dispersed throughout his body. His limbs were all gone. Everywhere. The power continued to surge. After half a minute, Chief Captain opened his eyes and shook his head at Long Fei. "I have not broken through, but my power has changed. This power is a little different from the power of the Zhenwu I used to train in. This power seems a little purer, just like its name, primordial power." Long Fei said, "Are you saying that although I haven't broken through, my strength has become stronger?" Chief Captain replied, "That's about what I meant." Long Fei laughed excitedly and said, "As long as you can become stronger, come. Continue. Rumble." The hunt began again. Crazy slaughter. It was fusing like crazy. Long Fei was not stingy at all. If this power was brought out, it would be enough to make the plain of the Zhenwu continent go crazy. No one could resist the temptation of instantly becoming a powerhouse of the Zhenwu realm. To grasp such power, then he would take control of the entire plain. Even the Zhao family could be easily uprooted. 2 hours later. Boom. A demon beast fell. The system sounded out. At this moment, Long Fei's eyes looked at the dark sky, his heart tensed up, and said excitedly, "Come, let's level up." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Primordial Demon Beast for obtaining 140,000 experience, 120,000 true chi points, and 1 arrogant god energy value point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Primordial Force of Variation. Do you wish to fuse it? Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Zhenwu Realm. Chapter 2568 Evolution of the Primordial Demon Beast. Chapter 2568 Evolution of the Primordial Demon Beast. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. The current level is first rank of the Zhenwu Realm, a voice that had been waiting for a long time. The level he had been looking forward to for a long time. Long Fei's eyes closed slightly. In that instant, the power in his body started to surge, his health point was increasing, and his true cheese value was also increasing. Every part of his body was undergoing a transformation. It was as if he had been baptized by some divine and powerful power. He clenched his fist. Boom! Zhenwu Realm's qi exploded uncontrollably, a sharp light flashed in his eyes. Long Fei became excited, and shouted out loud, "I finally broke through. I finally stepped into the Zhenwu realm. Ha ha ha." Inwardly, he was laughing maniacally. After the great senior brother sensed the aura on Long Fei's body, he was also secretly shocked and became happy for Long Fei. "Little junior brother, you broke through as well? Ha ha ha. The boss has made a breakthrough. Boss is mighty. The boss is domineering." Everyone had smiles on their faces. Now that they had absorbed the power of the primordial energy for the second time, the power of the Zhenwu realm became even stronger. If it was said that they were only at the early stage of Zhenwu realm at the beginning, then their strength had now reached the mid-stage of Zhenwu realm. Long Fei looked at his own attributes. Player, Long Fei level, Zhenwu realm, first rank, true qi points, 100, 023020 health point, 680,000 cultivation method, fairy from heaven, phantom berserk / skyfire, hell flame, rotten ghost hand. Spirit treasure, 10-story devil tower, sky sword, Ju-Q sword, seeking armor, lucky value, 0 charm value, 100 points, hidden, partner, nun quest, class land banquet challenge competition, incomplete, super mission, 7 meridians diagram, incomplete. A series of attributes interface appeared in Long Fei's mind. Looking at the true qi value, Long Fei thought to himself, the true qi is worth more than 100 million, which means to say that I can use sun-killing arrow. Hee. It is time to use this super artifact. Last time, he used a sun-killing arrow to break a 10-story devil tower. It was just that at that time, he had borrowed the power of the Demon Emperor's true qi, which was not yet Long Fei's own strength. If he used all of his strength, he would be even more powerful. Zhenwu realm. First stage of the Zhenwu realm? Long Fei's heart trembled. Isn't the Zhenwu realm a peak realm? Aren't there any levels? Could it be? Long Fei immediately asked, "Great senior brother, is the Zhenwu realm also divided into 9 levels or small realms?" The chief captain shook his head. "No, the Zhenwu realm does not have any stages, of course not. There are different levels of Zhenwu realm. This is determined by one's cultivation strength, and there are no detailed small realms. The highest realm that a Zhenwu realm can enter is the highest realm of a true martial emperor, talent, which is not something that anyone can break through. Master once asserted that the highest cultivation level for all 17 of us is only the peak of the Zhenwu realm, and our talent is not enough to enter the Emperor Zhenwu's realm. However, it's enough. The Zhenwu realm is already a peak realm. The great senior brother was not discouraged because of her limitations. Is that so? Long Fei thought in his heart, could it be that the system gave me levels? I'm not like them. My experience in breaking through the Emperor Zhenwu's realm? If that's the case, then it's even better. Comprehension breakthrough? Comprehension of a hammer. Long Fei did not want to use his brain to comprehend anything. Everything depended on experience. As long as one's experience points is sufficient, the Emperor Zhenwu's realm is the limit. It doesn't exist. Originally, Long Fei's goal was the Zhenwu realm, but now, the Zhenwu realm was also divided into 9 levels, so they could continue to kill. One night. To charge into the Emperor Zhenwu's realm, Long Fei said, the great senior brother's martial way has no end. He doesn't just rely on his talent, he also relies on his heart of martial art. Heart of martial arts. The great senior brother's gaze tensed up. After listening for a few seconds, he seemed to have realized something as he said, youngest junior brother, thank you. For someone at his level, even a single word or phrase would bring about a change in their cultivation. Long Fei smiled faintly. Xiao Dai said, Along, now that you have made a breakthrough, and we have all made a breakthrough, with our current strength, should be able to contend against the Zhao family. He should be able to save Sister Yi. Let's hurry up and leave this place. Xiao Dai looked around. Although 2 hours didn't mean that anything dangerous had happened, it still gave her a bad premonition. Tang Renjie said, "Such an awesome place, and there's even a power to allow people to ascend. We naturally have to get more out. Doesn't the Zhao family have 10 families? Then let's just get the 10,000 Zhenwu Realm Powerhouse Legion and crush all their Sha*T out." Thin Monkey was also excited. "You're right. Let's see who the F*King Gods sect gathering still dares to move tomorrow night." He was in high spirits. The events of the day had made them feel depressed. Now, their hearts were swelling. They also had the capital to expand. Long Fei looked at Xiao Dai and said, "Don't worry, I will definitely go and save Yurong. Moreover, I will not be like in the past, and will not let anyone threaten her again." Even though Long Fei also felt that the secret area of Deep Hell was becoming more and more different. However, since he could still level up, Long Fei didn't want to miss this chance. Furthermore, there were so many demon beasts in Secret World, it was weird that they did not see a single boss. Logically speaking, every single map should have a boss. That's impossible, there shouldn't be any bosses around. Long Fei muttered in his heart. Xiao Dai looked at everyone's excited expressions. Indeed, this place was like a treasure trove. When the sun rose, the crevice would close, and then it would be impossible to enter again. No martial artist would miss it. Xiao Dai nodded, and said, "All right." She didn't say anything more. She looked back the way they had come and saw that it was too dark to see clearly. She felt worse and worse. However, she still followed him. Kill. Boom. Boom. 2 hours passed. The super lineup of 20 or so people went wild all the way, and their hunting speed was also much faster than it had been in the beginning. Especially after Long Fei broke through the Zhenwu realm, their speed doubled. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 2nd rank of Zhenwu realm. Kill again. Rumble. Another 2 hours passed. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 2nd rank of the Zhenwu realm. Again, the experience here is simply too great. F***CK. I just can't use any special items. If I can use the double experience scroll, I'll be in big trouble. Long Fei muttered in his heart. However, the speed at which he was leveling up was also extremely fast. The number of demon beasts decreased, but their power was growing stronger and stronger. Just as the demon beast that Long Fei had killed was being eaten, the bodies of these demon beasts were changing. Chapter 2569, Too Strong, Unstoppable. Chapter 2569, Too Strong, Unstoppable. Cluck, 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 cluck. Sizzle. The sound of a cloth being torn apart sounded out with an ear-piercing sound. Next, everyone's eyes were filled with shock, and their pupils constricted abruptly. What's that? Skin peeling, will it transform? Didn't we evolve something on their heads? How do you evolve into a snake? It's out, Tang Renjie's nose moved, and he immediately said, "Dangerous." As soon as he finished, Transformers immediately rushed to the front. With his 3 heads and 6 arms spread out, his body sank, and the golden armor on his body looked as if it was about to be torn apart. It made a series of cracking noises. Boom. When that demon beast broke out of his body, its scales were especially different. A cold light flashed. It was incomparably sinister. At the same time, his aura also abruptly changed, becoming abnormally savage, as though a ghost door had opened and infernal energy flames frantically gushed out. Long Fei's pupils also shrank rapidly, golden light shone, an elite demon beast. "Everyone, be careful." Long Fei took the opportunity to remind her. Transformers said excitedly, "Don't worry, I'll cover for you." Transformers was very arrogant. He was a divine level beast, with the strength of a middle stage Zhenwu realm, a mere demon beast that had evolved. He didn't take it seriously at all, but just at this moment, hiss. An ear-piercing sound of a snake flicking its tongue resounded. The next second, boom, crack, the golden armor on Transformers' chest was shattering. Transformers' pupils constricted. His strength had sunk and he wanted to block, but A sharp pain came from his chest. 2 sharp fangs had pierced through his golden armor. Phut! A mouthful of fresh blood sprayed out. Transformers's body could not withstand it, and his huge body immediately exploded, falling far away into the darkness. Bam! A loud sound echoed out. 2 fears. The golden armor was an armor grown from Transformers's flesh. The defense of the armor was one with the Transformers. It was comparable to the defense of Peak Holy Artifact, but a single blow was going to break it. Everyone's eyes narrowed. He did not panic. Long Fei quickly said, "Stand back, don't move recklessly." The chief captain replied, "Listen to me, junior brother. Kill." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 17 figures instantly surrounded the elite demon beast. Without waiting for Long Fei to stop them, the great senior brother shouted, "Do it." The 17 people attacked at the same time. 17 middle stage Zhenwu realm powerhouses attacked at the same time. This power. Even the powerhouse of the Emperor Zhenwu's realm did not dare to take it head-on. However, this triangular snake that had evolved didn't have any intention of dodging the attack. Furthermore, at this moment, its body suddenly stood up, and its snake's tongue was like lightning. Boom. Rumble. The 17th son of Devil released all kinds of powerful moves. After one round, bang, 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 several people were sent flying. At the same time, a string of damage numbers floated up on top of the snake's triangular head. It wasn't high either, and it was also purple in color. Since he had already made his move, Long Fei did not think too much. Zhenwu realm, big fire ring, boom. With a move of his finger, flames surged into the sky, as though a great sun had risen. At the same time, it caused the entire secret area of deep hell to be illuminated clearly. It was in the shape of a huge snake. Moreover, this huge snake had a human face, the face of a woman who was peerless in beauty. Look at that face. Long Fei's heart immediately sank, and he couldn't help but think of a character from a game in his previous life, Lamia, or Medusa in the Western world. F***ck. This secret world. From the very beginning, the demon beasts here have been devouring their own kind. Every time they evolved, it was like a ball war game. At the beginning, there were many balls. After dying, they were immediately devoured. Their strength has never weakened. Instead, he's always been getting stronger. Long Fei did not dare think further. I cannot stay here any longer. I need to leave as soon as possible. Of course, leveling up was important. However, life was more important. Without his life, everything was fleeting. If he died here, what would he use to save Yi Yorong? What could he use to mess with the old hag? Immediately, Long Fei's big fire ring fiercely smashed down. At the same time, the Ju-Q sword moved. Its sword chi ignited, and the power in the Ming clan's mark on its left arm surged out. A furious slash. Boom. The blade hacked down on the head of the triangular serpent demon. 3 powerful forces. 68-inch just sending out such a pitiful number made Long Fei's scalp go numb. When this power blasted down, even powerhouse at the peak of the genuine force would feel their scalps go numb. However, it was Long Fei who felt numb on his scalp. However, the triangular serpent demon only had half of its HP remaining in the beginning, but Long Fei's slash had killed it instantly. Ding! Congratulations player Long Fei for killing primordial snake demon for obtaining 480,000 points, true chi points, 20,000, arrogant god energy value, 10 point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining primal force of variation number 10. Do you wish to fuse it? Holy **T. His experience points was actually close to 500 million. Moreover, he exploded forth with 10 strands of power. This was too heaven-defying. Long Fei was drooling, but he was clear in his heart that he could not stay any longer. If this continued, they would all die here. Too damn savage. Instantly. Long Fei quickly said, "Great senior brother, go find them. Kai Lina, take the body away." Long Fei moved at a lightning speed and immediately threw the snake demon's corpse on the ground into the air. Kai Lina's body moved. Her speed was as fast as lightning. However, still too slow. The moment the snake demon's corpse was thrown into the air, the demon beast that was still on the verge of evolving suddenly jumped into the air. Not even a second later, its corpse was torn apart in the air, and not even a single scale fell off. Cluck, 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 cluck. Explosions came from the bodies of several demon beasts. This is bad. Long Fei's expression tightened, and said, "Retreat, quick, quick. All of you, retreat." Boom, boom. A few seconds later, the three-headed snake demon evolved. Compared to the snake demon that it had before, it was slightly different. Its name was Bloodred. Such a monster. In the game, they would take the initiative to attack. Without waiting for Long Fei to leave, the three-headed snake demon attacked at the same time, blocking Long Fei and the others' escape route. Hiss, 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 hiss. The snake's tongue was like lightning. The 6 snake eyes stared straight at Long Fei and the others. Long Fei's eyes darkened, and said, "You aren't letting me go?" Rub. Long Fei was unhappy. "You still want to block your father's way even if you give me face? Then let's see if you can stop them." Instantly, Long Fei's aura burst forth, and he said with sound transmission, "All of you, run." Chapter 2570 Medusa? The boss appeared. Chapter 2570 Medusa? The boss appeared. Long Fei didn't want to stay at all, because these guys were too savage. Moreover, Long Fei already knew the pattern of their evolution. He was like a greedy snake. The more powerful it became, the bigger it became. Moreover, the ultimate evolution would probably end up like this secret world Snake Mountain statue. It was not that Long Fei was afraid of the snake girl, but if it was that Medusa from the Western world. If Long Fei was alone, he would not hesitate to choose to fight. However, he still had many brothers and Xiao Dai, so he couldn't let them risk their lives to follow him. He could only withdraw. The 3 serpent demons blocked their way, causing Long Fei's anger to rise. When he said kill, the idea sent a sound transmission to them, "Evacuate quickly, I'll be at the back." "No way. Youngest junior brother, we'll cover you up, hurry up and leave." Chief Captain was also aware that these demon beasts had evolved to a terrifying realm. Transformers gasped, "That's right." While they were talking, he rushed forward. Boom. 3 heads, 6 arms, Varja tyrant body, buzz. A burst of energy surged out from his body and enveloped his entire body in an instant. The golden armor on his body turned black and his defense became even stronger. "Come on. Let me see how strong you are." Transformers was enraged, his hands pounded on his chest, supporting himself with his legs. Boom. He swiftly rushed out. The pupils of the red snake demon moved. Hiss. The huge tail rolled. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. He did not have time to care about that as he grabbed King Kong and threw him backwards. Boom. It was also at this time. The tail swept past. Sizzle. A crack appeared in the black light. This power directly tore through the void, just like a cutting machine. If it were to land on Transformers' body, his body would probably be cut into 2 halves. He became stronger. He had become even more powerful. Transformers also felt his scalp go numb, and said solemnly, "How did these guys evolve?" Everyone felt a chill in their hearts. It had been too dangerous. That move. None of them would be able to withstand it, and their bodies would be split in half. Long Fei said again, "I'll open up a path for you guys, don't worry about me, I will get out." "Faster." Xiao Dai said anxiously, "Along." Without waiting for her to finish speaking, Long Fei glared at her and said angrily, "Cut the crap, let's go quickly." Chief Captain immediately said, "Let's go." At the same time, Long Fei stared at the 3-headed serpent demon and laughed coldly. "Grandson, come bite me, come." Finished. Long Fei flew to the other side. Strangely, those serpent demons didn't care about 17th son of Devil and the others at all. Seeing Long Fei running towards one side, they quickly chased after him. "Boss! Along!" "Youngest junior brother!" everyone anxiously shouted. The chief captain said, "All of you, go out. Staying behind will only implicate him." We were the first to rush out of the crevice. Everyone wanted to stay and fight with Long Fei. However, they all knew that staying would only drag Long Fei down. These 3 snakes are too ferocious. Moreover, even if they were killed, it would be useless. Those demon beasts would evolve again and become stronger. They could only delay them. Then, he would think of a way to escape and rush out of the crevice. Chief Captain said in a heavy voice, "All of you, get out. Quickly." And then, the 17th son of the Demon Emperor was the first to rush into the crack. Xiao Dai and the others looked at Long Fei, who had disappeared into the darkness. Their eyes tightened and tears were about to fall, but they could only crawl into the void. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. One by one, they rushed out of the secret area of deep hell. At this moment, the sun had already begun to rise and it was already beginning to light up. Moreover, the dark crack only had a few meters of wound left, and it would soon heal. After the 20+ people rushed out of the crevice. Seeing the hole that was only a few meters wide, Xiao Dai said immediately, "No, I have to go in and notify Along. Once the crack closes, Along will be locked in here forever, unable to return here." While they were talking, without waiting for Chief Captain to stop him, Xiao Dai rushed into dark crack. However, a surge of power directly bounced her back. Even someone like her from the Zhenwu realm wouldn't be able to take it, so she staggered backwards and almost fell down. What's going on? Chief Captain was slightly shocked and also tried to enter. Similarly, he was bounced back by a strong force and his eyebrows tightened. This can't be the power of laws, right? What do you mean? Thin Monkey asked. The Chief Captain said, God Xingtian tore apart the sky. The process of repairing the ancient code was like sewing clothes. First, it was formed with an interweaving net of power, then he pulled on it forcefully. Transformers anxiously asked, "Then can boss come out from inside?" Chief Captain replied, "It should be fine. As long as the crack isn't tight, it should be possible. Right now, I can only pray that Junior Brother can get rid of those devil snakes and get out of there as soon as possible." Kai Lina became anxious and asked, "Then what can we do?" Chief Captain slightly said, "Wait." Tang Renge's expression sank, and said, "I even said that bringing boss to the land banquet would start at daybreak. If boss can't come out, he wouldn't even have the chance to join the God's sect gathering." Everyone started to become anxious. They kept looking at dark crack, hoping that Long Fei would come out faster. However, when Long Fei saw that they had all left, his body suddenly stopped. Heh. Long Fei revealed a sinister sneer. The 3-headed serpent demon also stopped in its tracks, staring at Long Fei with its gloomy green eyes, as if it was afraid that Long Fei would run away. Long Fei said, "Don't worry, I won't run anymore. You guys have so much experience. How could I leave with so much raw power? It's not my, Long Fei's, character to not blow you guys up. Bring it on." Boom. Long Fei released his Zhenwu realm's primeval essence, condensed lines of energy, with him as the center, forming a small whirlpool of energy. The Ju-Q sword moved. The heavenly fire burned. That's it. Right now, he didn't have any worries. Don't worry about anyone. As for himself, if he couldn't save his woman, then what was the point in him living? Kill. Long Fei's eyes darkened, his face became sinister, and his entire being became deranged. His body moved as he attacked in a frenzy. Rumble. 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 Half an hour later, the 3-headed snake demon was killed at the same time. At the same time, Long Fei's entire body was covered in blood. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Primordial Snake Demon for obtaining 60 million experience points, true chi points. Ding. Ding. The system continuously exploded. At the same time, Long Fei leveled up one more level. 4th stage of the Zhenwu realm. Awesome. Long Fei's entire body recovered, and at this time, the remaining demon beast once again consumed the 3-headed snake demon's body in an instant. At the same time, the huge statue of the snake began to tremble. At this moment, a huge wave of energy directly sucked the demon beast, and the Snake Mountain statue swallowed it whole. Hualala. The stone shattered. A golden light burst out from the crack. Long Fei's gaze tensed up, his heart became excited. The boss is going up. Chapter 2571, The Beautiful Boss. Chapter 2571, The Beautiful Boss. Boom. 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 There were constant booms as the rocks and stones on Snake Mountain continued to fall. Every time they collapsed, they would shoot out a dazzling golden light. The boss' radiance was exceptionally strong. Long Fei was also getting more and more excited as he watched. Boss. Otherworld boss. Ha ha ha. When he thought about Sea King, Long Fei became even more anxious. Killing this boss might just cause him to level up a few times, or even break through the Emperor Zhenwu's realm. However, at the same time that Long Fei was excited, he was also worried. Looking at the dark crack, the sky was about to brighten. In other words, if he could not finish off this boss before dawn, then he would not be able to leave. He would be trapped here forever. Even if he could summon out Xing Tian and break through the sky, he could only do it now. There was no longer any guarantee that the other side of the sky would be the Zhenwu continent realm. Being able to break through the sky to discover secret area of deep hell, this was completely random. I can't wait any longer. Long Fei's brows tightened. He did not have much time. Then, with a move of the Ju-Q sword in Long Fei's hand, he injected the heavenly fire. The flames began to burn. Boom. Long Fei moved his body, he rose from the ground and rushed towards the gigantic Snake Mountain. Boom. A huge boulder that looked like concrete crumbled out. Long Fei jumped on top of it with a heavy leap, then used his strength to push it back. True essence poured in. The power of the Zhenwu realm burst out completely. Skyfire slash. The power of the heavenly fire, the Ju-Q sword's strength had increased to a few points, heavily chopping at the belly of the giant snake. In a flash, the Ju-Q sword slashed a thick layer of snake scales, causing sparks to fly in all directions, and produced a series of ear-piercing sounds. Long Fei looked at the huge snake on top of its head. Miss, miss, miss. English letters continued to float up. I won't break it. This guy's defense is too strong. Long Fei's heart sank. His body landed on the huge snake and he looked at the white scale of the snake. Every scale of the snake was larger than his body. How big is this snake demon? Boom. Boom. Long Fei stared at the snake head that did not have any cracks on it, his eyes turned sinister as he jumped up. Tar, 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 asterisk. They followed the massive scales and quickly reached the head of the snake. With a flick of his body, whoosh, he jumped into the air, and above the snake head, he dove down. The idea moved secretly, fairy from heaven, Shua. His body was falling like lightning, the Ju-Q sword was burning, Long Fei's left arm was also burning, and the power within the Ming clan's mark was also being released crazily. Boom. It slammed down heavily on the snake's head. He had used all of his strength. It hit the thick rock on the snake's head. Crack. The rock cracked. The Ju-Q sword in Long Fei's hands was still constantly pressing down, and flames ignited from the cracks, just like lava. Long Fei roared, and his strength sank even more. Rumble. The Ju-Q sword pierced right into the rock. At this time, Hualala. A large amount of rock shattered and fell to the ground. All of the petrified rock in his head cracked and fell to the ground. It was also at this moment that the rocks on the body of the devil snake shattered and her appearance was revealed. Buzz. When Long Fei's Ju-Q sword touched the snake scale on the giant snake's head, it was instantly blocked by a burst of energy. The two giant snake eyes slightly opened. Buzz. A ray of light shot out. Long Fei's face tensed up, he did not have time to react at all, and was instantly sent flying by the power. Even the Ju-Q sword fell onto the snake's head. Bang, bang, bang. It fell to the ground and bounced continuously, creating a deep crater each time. This power. Too fierce. It was the power to open one's eyes. How fierce was this boss? It was indescribable. Terrifying to the extreme. Long Fei crawled up from the deep pit, looked up, and saw the entirely white scale, huge snake tail, twisting the snake body. That body's posture was so beautiful it was hard to say. And then to the upper body. Long Fei's pupils suddenly shrank. That mouth, which was filled with scales and incomparably large, was like 2 mountain peaks, and he was just about to burst out, as if 2 balloons had collided to the limit, and might explode at any moment. This word was enough to describe him. Fierce. Up. His long black hair shone like a black jewel. It looked as if it had been ironed. It was so supple that it didn't look like human hair at all. The face again. Face. In addition. A peerless beauty. Long Fei looked like. His heart couldn't stop thumping wildly. He couldn't control it at all. Damn, is there really such a beautiful person in the world? Especially when he saw the pair of golden eyes of the devil snake. Their eyes met. In that moment, Long Fei's soul seemed to be summoned out. His body trembled slightly. He couldn't stop drooling. His entire body was swaying, as if he had fallen into a dream. He slowly walked towards the giant serpent demon, and kept muttering, "So beautiful, so beautiful. What about such a beautiful person? That's not right. It should be a beautiful boss. Boss. Boss." After the word flashed across his mind, he was the kind of person who would not be able to move when he saw that the boss was about to explode. The moment the word appeared in his mind, Long Fei's sea of consciousness suddenly moved, and his consciousness immediately came back to reality. Damn, charm power. That was close. I was almost bewitched. I can't look into her eyes. Long Fei's back was drenched in cold sweat. If he really walked forward like this, he probably wouldn't even know how he died. Cluck, 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 cluck. The devil snake let out a wave of laughter. I didn't expect there to be a man in this world who could resist my charm. Kid, you're the first. Long Fei did not dare meet the snake demon's eyes again, and said, "I am still the first person to kill you." Cluck, cluck, cluck. The snake demon laughed and said sinisterly, "Do you want to break my front or back? I'll just explode for you." Cluck, cluck, cluck. The voice was devilish. Moreover, it gave people a feeling of being unable to free themselves. Just the sound of it alone was enough to cause one to feel the most primal of impulses. The devil snake was very beautiful. She didn't weaken her beauty just because she was a snake, but instead had a peculiar charm. Her black hair, cheeks, and alluring golden eyes were simply the most charming beauties in the world. Any man who saw it would want to get close to it and take it. Holy *T. Long Fei's mental fortitude was not bad. His immunity to beauties could be said to be very high, but he couldn't help but lose control of himself. This kind of scene was akin to a dozen or so beauties wearing very little clothes, constantly seducing you from beside them. Even if it was a man, he wouldn't be able to hold it in. Long Fei was a man. He couldn't help it either. However, he knew that this was the enchanting power emitted from the body of the devil snake. Competing on charm? I'm even more charming than you. Long Fei moved. Charm value, activate. Chapter 2572, Charm Value Damage. Chapter 2572, Charm Value Damage. Long Fei had been hiding his charm value the entire time. This was because 100 points of charm value were able to attract anyone, even Transformers was able to be captivated by it. Long Fei hid it to avoid unnecessary trouble. If it was kept open, the gods would probably be in a state of chaos. A large group of men, women, and children followed them from the streets. They were all like fanatical fans. How could they stand this? But now, the giant serpent demon's charm was something that Long Fei could not control. If he could not kill the boss at this rate, he might just die from the boss's warmth and gentleness. It was naturally able to open the charm value. Following the movement of Long Fei's idea, all of his charm value were activated. Immediately, the aura on Long Fei's body abruptly changed. His facial expression did not change at all. What changed was that the spirit serpent demon's expression towards him had changed. Charm value did not change his own. What's different is that others will be attracted to you and will not be able to resist coming close to you. Competing on charm? I'm not worse than you. Come on. Come again to seduce me. Long Fei said fiercely in his heart. When he had activated his charm value, He had clearly felt the alluring power of the serpent demon weaken, and Long Fei's physique had also been suppressed by his calmness. However, rumble, rumble, rumble. She really twisted her body and walked towards Long Fei. Her eyes were like that of a 17 to 18-year-old girl who had just become infatuated with women. Handsome. You're so handsome. He's as handsome as a little demoness. The enticing power from the Lamia's body became weaker and weaker, as her charm value had yet to reach its maximum capacity. Long Fei, however, had a full state of charm value. The competition of charm value had nothing to do with the realm of levels, so Long Fei's charisma completely surpassed the snake demon's. The snake demon was also completely captivated by Long Fei's charm. Seeing the snake demon walk in, Long Fei silently thought in his heart, a competition for charm? Who can compare to me? I'm so handsome that I can break through the universe. I, your father, am the unrivaled marshal of this world, ha ha ha. With his narcissistic personality, Long Fei summoned the sky sword out with his right hand. He stared at the serpent demon in front of him and asked, "Do you like me?" The snake demon immediately nodded, "I don't just like you. I'm in love with you. Little handsome brother, in the future, just be my husband." "Be your husband?" Fart. Long Fei spat out a mouthful of phlegm and thought, "I admire a person now, Shu Xian." Shu Xian was brave enough to kill a snake. The snake demon in front of him was also a white snake, and Long Fei believed that she was definitely 100 times prettier than the white woman, but Long Fei still did not dare to do that. Therefore, he really admired Shu Xian. Wow. So handsome, what a man. Too handsome. The serpent demon's face was filled with infatuation, just like a helpless young girl, its eyes twinkling. Long Fei said, "If you want me to be your little husband, then tell me where your weakness is." He had to know his weakness, or else he wouldn't be able to kill him. The snake demon looked at Long Fei and said, "Husband, my weakness is you. You are my biggest weakness." Long Fei's gaze tightened, and immediately pretended to be angry, fiercely saying, "Hurry up and say it, or else I won't forgive you." Before he could finish his words, a whip fell. "Huh!" Long Fei was a little confused. Before he could say anything, another candle fell down, followed by a mace that fell down as well. Long Fei was a little confused as he asked, "What are you doing?" The snake demon said dubiously, "Husband, didn't you say you wouldn't forgive me? Come on, use these things and beat me up." That sound. That expression. Like a masochist. And with a shy expression. "I'll go." Long Fei felt his scalp tingling. Could it be that she understands MS? Oh my god. Slap you. All right. Long Fei did not care about that. Picking up the biggest and thickest wolf teeth rod, he leaped into the air and smashed it towards the snake demon. Boom. Sparks flew in all directions. Ah. Oh. The snake demon trembled. "Husband, continue." He had a completely satisfied look on his face. "I can't kill you." Long Fei was not polite at all. He swung his hammer crazily and struck down crazily. He was looking for his weakness at this time. How could he miss this chance? Bam! 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 The snake demon continuously twisted its body, looking completely intoxicated with itself. Furthermore, it seemed to be cooperating extremely well. From time to time, she would give Long Fei a coquettish look. It was simply fatal. What was even worse was, apart from the fact that he didn't have a hammer on his head, his entire body had been beaten up. Other than the MIS, there was also the MIS, completely unable to break through his defenses. In other words, there were no weaknesses in his entire body. Can't be. Since there's a boss, then there must be a way to kill her. Her defense is heaven-defying. How am I supposed to play this game? Long Fei secretly complained in his heart. If he couldn't even break its defense, how could he kill this boss? They wouldn't be able to kill him. Moreover, the healing speed of Dark Crack got faster and faster, and it wouldn't be long before it would completely heal. Long Fei could not go back. In this situation, if she did not kill the snake demon, she would definitely not let Long Fei leave. "Husband, why did you stop? Continue on." Long Fei said harshly, "Then your sister." The snake demon giggled and said, I don't have a sister. Husband, you made me feel great just now. Now, I'll make you feel good too. As soon as he finished, the snake demon twisted its body as a long whip appeared in its hand. The candle did not light up and quickly melted into wax. When the leather whip touched the wax, it flew into the sky, and without waiting for Long Fei to reject it, the snake demon whipped it up and started laughing. Hey! Cluck, cluck, cluck. Holy **T. Long Fei cursed in his heart. Seeing the wax that was splattered all over the sky, then looking at that huge whip, if he got whipped, his entire body would be covered in red marks. Other places didn't matter. What if he slapped a handsome face? Immediately, Long Fei immediately shouted, Stop right there. The devil snake said in a spoiled tone, No, I will make you feel good. **CK. Just your expression alone is enough to make me feel great. With this whip, even half of my life will be taken. Long Fei muttered. Just now, I have already tried the snake body, so the only thing that remains is the snake head. And when the Ju-Q sword was attacked earlier, it was blocked by a powerful force, which means, is that her weakness? I don't care. Let's give it a try. At a time like this, Long Fei basically had no other choice. Space was about to heal. If he didn't end the battle quickly, he would be trapped here forever. Long Fei's body moved. Shua. Dodging the attack of the whip, the sky sword moved. At this moment, it was as if the snake demon had suddenly recovered, and the aura on its body abruptly changed. Chapter 2573, The Boss. Chapter 2573, The Boss Too Fast. Long Fei is fast. The serpent demon also changed very quickly. Sensing the change in the snake demon, Long Fei was secretly happy. The top of her head is her weakness, there can't be any mistake. The change in the snake demon was just like how Long Fei had been awakened by the word boss. Because, no matter how powerful the charm was, it was not as important as her life. She was indeed captivated by Long Fei's charm. But, in terms of her own life and Long Fei's choice, she would not hesitate in the slightest to choose her own. When she was threatened, she subconsciously moved her body's aura to change, but it didn't change that fast. After all, the charm of 100 points of charm value was not just for show. He didn't fully unleash his strength. Sky sword, sky code, sky splitting. Long Fei roared in his heart, and at the same time, a voice sounded out in the air, Mitch, I don't like her either. A woman's voice. It was filled with anger. Long Fei was secretly surprised, and thought, who is talking? However, at this moment, he didn't think too much about it. Killing the boss was more important. The sky sword aura surged crazily. At this moment, the serpent demon finally responded, the primordial first divine sword, sky sword? Who are you? How did you get a sky sword? You are Long Zhanting? No. Long Zhanting has long since disappeared, so you can't possibly be him. Your strength is simply too weak compared to him. The snake demon ferociously roared. The appearance of the sky sword shocked her to her core. At this moment, Long Fei roared, and laughed, I'm your husband. Shua. Break for me. The sky-splitting sword stabbed onto the head of the snake demon, and a ripple-like halo of energy shot out. In that instant, crack. A cracking sound could be heard. Half a second later, Hualala. The defense on top of the snake demon's head shattered, turning into dust in an instant. At the same time, the defenses of her entire body were also shattered. Streak after streak of defensive power scattered down, visible to the naked eye. Even though there was still a MIS floating above the head of the snake demon, her shield had already been broken, just like the interstellar battleships in science fiction. With a layer of protection, once the shield was broken, the battleship would be unable to withstand a single blow. No. Ah! The devil snake let out a fierce roar. The sound wave was like a wave. Before Long Fei could make his second attack, it was directly swept away by the sound and heavily landed on the ground. Boom! A deep crater was created. Phut! Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood and said, his attack is too strong. One move almost killed him. His nearly 700,000 health point only had 70,000 left, and that was only a single sonic wave attack. If it were any other attack, Long Fei would probably be dead by now. The spring of life was crazily surging. His health point crazily recovered. Without waiting for Long Fei to crawl out of the deep pit, the snake demon's figure suddenly appeared. She raised her huge tail and floated in the air like a streak of white lightning, looking at Long Fei, who was in the deep pit. The charm value worked once again. The snake demon did not immediately attack. Instead, she looked at the painful Long Fei and said, "Husband, can you accompany me forever? No matter who you are, or what relationship you have with Long Zhanting, can you accompany me? As long as you nod your head, I will absolutely not kill you." Emotions? Long Fei didn't know. Long Fei only knew that he didn't dare to be like Xu Xian. He only knew this snake demon was a boss. Since it was a boss, he definitely had to drop it. Thus, Long Fei grinned and said, "Can you let me think about it for a few minutes?" His health point still needed a bit more time to recover. He was stalling for time. The devil snake let out a loud roar. "No, I want your answer now." Deep love, deep pain. The devil snake was like a woman about to fall out of love, going insane. Huff. Long Fei let out a heavy breath and said, "Sorry, I can't be with you, because..." He flicked his body. The sky sword in Long Fei's hands moved, and shouted loudly, "Because this daddy will explode you." Ah! A piercing howl could be heard that sounded like the howl of a ghost. The sound waves were like waves as they rolled down one after another. At this moment, the serpent demon was infuriated to the point of insanity. Its huge white tail smashed towards Long Fei, like a white bolt of lightning. Holy **T. Long Fei's eardrums shook, and traces of blood flowed out. His head felt heavy, and felt extremely uncomfortable, as if he had gone berserk. It was as if he was in a bad mood. At this time, another voice rang out. So noisy. Long Fei looked up into the sky and did not see anyone. But, just at this moment, the snake demon also let out a sound. "It's you? You dare to snatch a man from me? I'm going to swallow you up." Swish. An ear-piercing sound, before Long Fei could even react, was immediately caught by the serpent demon tail, and was abruptly reined in. Ah! The joints on Long Fei's body exploded out and his spine felt like it was about to break. With a loosen of his hand, the sky sword fell to the ground. The snake demon general flung Long Fei aside. Boom! 10 kilometers away. The serpent demon opened its bloody mouth, revealing its original form, a gigantic white snake that was about to swallow the sky sword. "Humph! You, a smelly snake, dare to swallow me? Shua." The sky sword moved slightly as the sky sword spirit appeared. He was as white as snow. Her dress fluttered in the wind, as if a goddess had descended upon the mortal world. At the same time, the sword spirit frowned. She did not even need to use her hands to control the sword, she directly used idea to control it. How cool. Long Fei looked up into the sky and muttered, "So, there has always been a fairy staying in the sky sword. I was wondering why luck has always been on my side. No wonder." "But," Long Fei said in astonishment, "I never thought that such a tyrannical sky sword, the first sword spirit of primordial sword, is actually a woman. You're awesome. Elder sister fairy, you can do it," Long Fei said loudly. The devil snake became even angrier. "If you can't be with me, then how can you be with her? She is only a sword. Can you marry a sword?" Long Fei was thinking of nothing else, only 2 words, "Sun sword." His crotch shrank. Long Fei trembled slightly. He didn't dare to continue thinking about it. Long Fei said, "Love does not distinguish between borders, ages, or races. Love is love, there is no way to force it." Ah! The snake demon let out another roar and became even more berserk. Long Fei's words stung him even more. She had never loved anyone in her life, but in that instant, she fell in love with Long Fei and felt that Long Fei was everything to her. But Long Fei directly shattered her heart. Of course, if she wasn't a boss, then everything would be fine. Long Fei might learn from Xu Xian, but she was a boss, so she had to drop it. This was a principle. Chapter 2574, The Explosion of the Sky Sword Spirit. Chapter 2574, The Explosion of the Sky Sword Spirit boss, regardless of gender, age, race, should be killed or killed. This was the principle. If he were to sympathize with a boss, what was the point of doing so? He could just elope with the boss. The snake demon was very beautiful and extremely tempting, but she was a boss. Even if she loved him so much that her heart would tear and her lungs would burst, she would still drop what she deserved. Moreover, at this critical juncture, Long Fei needed experience. He wanted to break through, upgrade to the peak, Emperor Zhenwu's realm. Otherwise, his strength would not be enough to protect everything. Fairy, her head is a weakness. Long Fei reminded her. The Sky Sword Spirit moved in the air, instantly flying above the serpent demon's head. Following that, the Sky Sword flashed with a strange light and pierced forward. His speed was extremely fast. The snake demon's reaction was fast as well. Seeing the Sky Sword fall, he asked in a deep voice, "With just you? Hualala." The serpent demon spat out a long sword that was as white as snow. A sword made from white bones. He used all his strength to block it, and whung. Sparks flew in all directions as sword intent wreaked havoc in all directions. Sword light was like streams of flames that burst out, and the air was also constantly emitting explosive sounds. He blocked the attack with his sword. You are only a sword, only a weapon. Your strength depends entirely on who uses you. In your own hands, you are just a piece of trash, the snake demon fiercely said. The bone sword moved. The huge snake suddenly wriggled. Shua. A white shadow flashed like lightning, its massive body shooting straight into the void. At this moment, Long Fei shouted, "Be careful." The Sky Sword Spirit's gaze darkened, and instantly turned to look behind him. Space distorted, and Xuan'Arbai's sword light pierced out. Sky Sword Spirit lightly tapped with one foot. His figure quickly retreated. The Sky Sword was also beside her. Flee. Humph. He'll die even if he escapes to the infernal realm. With that, the devil snake started to laugh sinisterly. At the same time, the surrounding space started to distort and crack. The white lightning directly crushed the space around the Sky Sword Spirit. Snake tail. The entire body of the devil snake was hidden in the void, just for the sake of hiding its own body. It was all for this attack. The void shattered, and the tail swept up like a bolt of lightning. In the sky, underground. All sealed. The snake demon's body released a powerful wave of energy that surged towards the Sky Sword Spirit like a tsunami. Long Fei was frightened to death watching this. Oh no, the fairy couldn't hold on any longer. The strength of the snake demon is too strong. However, the space between Sky Sword Spirit's eyebrows tightened. There was no panic on his face at all, even if he were to fall into this desperate situation. She muttered something in her mouth. Next. Buzz. 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 Countless ear-piercing sword hums rang out. At this moment, an incomparably strong sword intent surged out. Infinite. The entire secret area of deep hell was filled with the intent of Sky Sword. Buzz. 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 Just as if billions of divine swords were arguing, the snake demon's pupils also contracted. Sensing the sword intent in the surroundings, his heart sank as he roared, "Die!" Ah! Shua! The white tail flashed with lightning, and suddenly, its power crushed everything in its path. The white bone sword in his hand pierced towards the center of the Sky Sword Spirit. Sky Sword Spirit made a light sound, Sky Tyrant profound, sword formation, fall. The aura on her body moved, and the sky sword floating beside her suddenly flew into the air, as though it had ignited a fuse. All the sword intent in Secret World formed many divine swords that pierced through the heavens. The heavens were shattered. Tyrant sword intent. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk the sword rain descended in a berserk manner. This scene. Long Fei was completely dumbstruck. The sky opened, and the tyrant's sword intent smashed down. This. The entire world is filled with sword intent. No wonder No wonder Sky Sword are the number one divine sword of primordial flames. This power is too violent. When will I be able to release this power? Long Fei was extremely shocked. He finally understood why Sky Sword was the number one divine sword in primordial history. This power was too exaggerated. If one was able to cultivate to the peak realm, then with just this one move, he would be able to instantly kill everyone on this plane. She let out a shrill cry, and her huge tail abandoned attacking the Sky Sword spirit. Instead, she turned her head into a spinning top, forming a defensive mode. The sword formation descended. It bombarded the body of the serpent demon in a frenzy. The scales shattered. Blood gushed out. At the same time, a string of damage figures appeared above the devil snake's head. 10303-203, 1123-2032, 2921-2221, all of them dealt over 10 million damage and turned into a mess. Long Fei looked at it until he was stupefied, and his blood boiled in his heart. Too awesome, too awesome. We can kill him in an instant. Actually, the reason the sword spirit was released was entirely because the universal soul was released by Long Fei the last time. Otherwise, just as the snake demon had said, her current strength was not a match for the snake demon. Let's see how you continue arguing, Sky Sword Spirit said fiercely. Looking at the serpent demon that had turned into a hedgehog top, it was already riddled with wounds and had no fighting strength. However, the Sky Sword Spirit was not at ease. Stinky underworld snake, you are just a pet abandoned by the Ming clan. Do you think that you are fit to marry my master? What qualifications do you have? Yi Zichen said in annoyance. Furthermore, while he was talking, the Heaven's Tyrant Sword Intent was still frantically suppressing the serpent demon. Long Fei's heart trembled. Underworld snake? This was the first time he had ever heard of such a thing in this world, but in the movies of his previous life, there were many facts regarding Underworld snake. A person who could fight against a god. He was incomparably strong. The white snake demon in front of him is a underworld snake. Long Fei secretly tensed up. The furious voice of the underworld snake resounded, I do not have the qualifications. Are you qualified again? Sky Sword Spirit calmly replied, I don't have the qualifications either. Heh! The underworld snake was startled, and said, didn't you stop me just so that I could have this man? Now that you've won, I'll just give it to you. Please spare me this once. Please. Let me go. The aura of the Sky Sword Spirit slightly receded. But right at this moment, the underworld snake's body suddenly started to spin, its golden eyes turning pitch black. It roared and turned its body into a sharp sword and stabbed at the sword spirit. No one can fight with me for a man. The most powerful attack. The expression in Sky Sword Spirit's eyes darkened, but he still remained calm. I knew you would be so sinister. His hands formed a seal. Buzz. A huge crack appeared in the sky. The Sky Sword descended vertically. Furthermore, the current Sky Sword is completely different. A divine light flashed as it descended with a power that could pierce through the heavens. This sword. Too cool. Chapter 2575, The Supreme High Lord. Chapter 2575, The Supreme High Lord Sword Intent, Divine Light. The light from the cracked sky. The Sky Sword looked like a miracle had happened. There was not a single trace of rust on his body. Every part of him was filled with boundless power. The heavens moved, the sword struck out. This was the true power of Sky Sword. Long Fei was stunned. Looking at the sword slash that fell from the sky, the underworld snake let out a mournful cry and rushed towards the sword spirit even faster. Die. She was competing in speed. The space between Sky Sword Spirit's eyebrows sunk, as he also became somewhat nervous. The universal soul that she had absorbed was exhausted. If she did not kill the underworld snake with this move, she would die, and Long Fei would die as well. Looking at the Sky Sword in the sky, the sword spirit's heart flashed with a ray of light. Genshin. Ha ha ha. You must be crazy. If you dare to release your sword heart, you're dead. The underworld snake laughed crazily, its speed was even faster. Although Long Fei did not know what sword heart was. However, The underworld snake's words made his heart tremble, and he couldn't help but worry for the Sky Sword Spirit. Sky Sword Spirit looked at Long Fei and smiled, signaling him not to worry. Just as the underworld snake was about to pierce the Sky Sword Spirit, the Sky Sword felt the power of Sword Heart and it suddenly disappeared. In that 1,000th of a second, it directly pierced into the underworld snake's head. It was nailed down vertically like a nail. Boom! The underworld snake's body sank and let out a mournful cry. The health bar on the top of his head instantly reached 0. However, at this moment, the underworld snake flipped its huge tail. I won't let you live either. Boom! The huge tail swept out, heavily striking the body of the Sky Sword Spirit, causing the Sword Spirit to be sent flying. Boom! Sent into the darkness. Long Fei didn't have enough time to check on the underworld snake's health. With a flick of his body, he used all of his strength on his speed to catch the Sword Spirit that was flying in the air. Bam! He landed heavily on the ground. The Sword Spirit's face was as pale as a sheet of paper as she spat out a mouthful of blood. Looking at Long Fei with both of her eyes, she laid in Long Fei's embrace and laughed softly. I didn't think that lying in your embrace would have such a feeling, hey? Long Fei's heart was a little stifled, and was in extreme discomfort. He asked, "How are you?" Sky Sword Spirit shook his head, and said, "Nothing. I'm fine." Cough, cough, cough. He coughed out a few more mouthfuls of blood. How did this look like a normal person? Long Fei felt her body becoming colder and colder, and her body becoming lighter and lighter. What should I do to save you? A smile still hung on Sky Sword Spirit's face as he said, I'm okay, you don't have to do anything else for me, you're a dragon, you're a supreme high lord, I'm just a little brat, he. At this moment, she was well aware of her identity. At most, she could only be considered a little kid in front of Long Fei. What kind of person was Long Fei? The number one of the ancient world, the supreme high lord. She simply didn't have the qualifications for Long Fei to save her. Long Fei's heart sank. Clenching his fists tightly, he said, I am not some supreme high lord. If I were, I would not have let you get injured. Tell me, if I could save you. A supreme high lord. Even Long Fei himself thought it was laughable. If he was such a strong person, would he still need to continue living here? Watching the Sword Spirit get heavily injured? Was there a need to take the risk and break through to secret area of deep hell? Was there a need to save his own woman? The stifling feeling in his heart grew stronger and stronger. Long Fei's heart seemed to have been possessed as he became extremely manic. When he grabbed the dragon-shaped mark under his right arm, a faint burst of power surged out. Because of anger, the Sky Sword Spirit became weaker and said, You will be the High Lord, but you have yet to activate the power in your body. You are the strongest person, the number one person in ancient world. I'm not qualified to be saved by you. Being by your side is the greatest honor of my life. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Long Fei gnashed his teeth with an explosive sound, suppressed the anger in his heart and said, All right, I am the Supreme High Lord, then I will order you to tell me the method to save you now. Listen up. I'm ordering you. Long Fei repeated. The Sky Sword Spirit was startled for a moment, then after hesitating for half a second, said, My sword heart fused with the Sky Sword, and entered the universal realm to go there. When I find the God's design craftsman, he will separate the sword heart from the Sky Sword, and then I can use my sword heart to cultivate and obtain a new sword spirit. God's design attic. God's design craftsman. Universal realm. It's too far, it's too long. Is there a faster way? Is my blood of any use to you? Will it be able to cure you? Long Fei could not help but ask as he thought about how his own blood essence contained a huge amount of energy. Sky Sword Spirit's body immediately shook, and he quickly replied, It's useless, it's useless. High Lord, you have to cherish every drop of blood essence in your body, because. His voice slowly grew softer. In the end, it completely disappeared. He didn't say the last sentence out loud. Long Fei wanted to hug her tightly, but at this moment, when he hugged her tightly, Sky Sword Spirit's body disappeared completely like a spirit body. Ah! Long Fei roared towards the sky. It was also at this time Buzz. Rumble. The underworld snake raised her body abruptly, and as if she was reviving, she directly pulled the sword out of her head, and at the same time, changed the skin on her body. It had transformed. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The sky sword spirit is only SOSO, in the end the one who wins is me, it's me, ha ha ha. The underworld snake laughed crazily, and at the same time, opened its mouth and swallowed the sky sword. Gulp. The sky sword was directly swallowed into her stomach. His body suddenly flipped, standing high up, like a white dragon. His eyes coldly stared at Long Fei, who was on the ground, and said with disdain, "This woman asked you to reject me? What sky sword spirit? You want to steal my man? Humph. I am universal boundaries only underworld snake. You want to kill me? It's too naive. Even if Long Zhanting was here, he wouldn't be able to hurt me at all." It was extremely savage. She had already swallowed the sky sword, how could she not be arrogant? However, at this moment, Long Fei suddenly stood up, his two eyes were cold as he stared at the underworld snake. With a tone like a death god, he said, "Is that enough?" It was as sinister as purgatory. The underworld snake's eyes widened. "Don't think that you can use such a tone to speak to me just because you're handsome. Brat, I see that you're your glory, but you don't know what's good for you, otherwise I'll make you act like that trash of a sword spirit." Not waiting for her to finish, Long Fei's figure suddenly disappeared. At this moment, the underworld snake's body suddenly trembled, all the scales on its body were trembling. In the blink of an eye, her mind shattered. His sea of consciousness ruptured. His eyes were even more unfocused, looking at the most terrifying scene in the world. No, all he saw was Long Fei looked down from above, with a flip of his right hand, his palm slapped down ruthlessly. At that moment, Long Fei didn't know who he was. At this moment, the entire secret area of deep hell was collapsing. Chapter 2576, Berserk, Fusion of Underworld Fire. Chapter 2576, Berserk, Fusion of Underworld Fire. This slap caused the entire plane to collapse. This slap caused the underworld snake to not even have the will to resist. It continued to tremble on the spot and its body kneeled down on the ground. When the palm landed, she let out a sharp scream. And then, the gash on his head instantly revealed the bottom of his head. Shua. Moreover, at the same time, the sky sword in her body seemed to have received a call of some sort, and it broke out of her body. At this moment, Long Fei didn't even know who he was. Why did his right hand suddenly emit such a thick and powerful energy that was completely foreign to him? His face was also full of shock. At that moment, the suppressed rage in his heart suddenly exploded. The power was indescribable. His mind also abruptly changed. It was as if he had become someone else. When the anger was vented and the palm landed, Long Fei's heart instantly restored to its original state. He looked at his right hand. What kind of power is this? The power of great desolation erupted. Long Fei did not understand. However, he didn't have the time to figure this out right now. Because the underworld snake was about to explode. The entire secret world was about to explode. Holy **T. To be able to destroy the entire secret world in one move, how strong is that, how much is that? Long Fei's heart shook, and the system beep also immediately sounded out. Long Fei's mind tensed up, he suppressed the excitement in his heart and said, it's here, the boss is going to explode. God bless me. Breakthrough level 10 consecutively. Old Master, bless me. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for defeating Underworld Snake for obtaining 66666666666666666 experience, true chi points, 6000000, arrogant god energy value, 100 points. Ding. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the Underworld Snake's secret technique. Do you wish to cultivate the power of evolution? Injured and revived can change one's appearance. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Underworld Thunder. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the power of Underworld Snake. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining super force of Ming Clan. Congratulations to player Long Fei. The system beeped crazily. Every single one of them was in existence at the super artifact level. The power of the underworld snake in particular was the same as a snake molting and resurrecting itself, just like how the underworld snake was suddenly resurrected when it was nailed to the ground by the Skysword spirit. This secret technique was an incredible existence even in the universal realm. Underworld snake. He was once the first war beast in Ming Clan. Then the traitor vanished into thin air. He had always been hiding in the original, unformed plane. However, this time, Xing Tian had coincidentally broken through the sky, and was the one who discovered secret area of deep hell. Ding! The system sounded out again. Long Fei said, "This is a notification for leveling up, right? With more than 60 billion experience points, how many levels can you raise?" True Martial Emperor. Emperor Zhen Wu's realm. I must break through. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 5th grade of the Genuine Force. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 6th grade of the Genuine Force. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 7th rank of the Genuine Force. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 8th grade of the Genuine Force. 2 more, just 2 more, ha ha ha. I still have 20 billion experience points. That's enough, that's enough. Long Fei became excited. According to the leveling up experience, this 20 billion was enough for him to break through the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm. The system beep sounded again. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Genuine Force 9. It was also at this time. The experience bar suddenly dropped. The level up notification didn't ring again. Long Fei's eyes turned cold. Looking at the 13 billion experience left, he said, "What the hell is this? How come the 13 billion experience cannot be leveled up?" Then he looked at the experience bar. Long Fei's body sank. He even had the heart to die, because the experience needed to break through to true Martial Emperor required 50 billion. It was as though he had fallen into an abyss. The final level was 50 billion. System, damn you, are you trying to play me to death? You can't possibly let me kill another underworld snake, right? Fine, fine, fine. I'll kill another one and revive him if you dare. Long Fei was very angry. 50 billion experience. This. With Long Fei's current level, even if he were to kill all the demon beast in Zhenwu continent, he would not be able to level up. This was like a shackle, fiercely binding him. I can't play anymore. I can't play anymore. Long Fei cursed. In his heart, he still wanted to kill this super boss to level up and break through to the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm. One more level. The difference was over 30 billion experience points. What was he going to do? The old monster of the Zhao family was the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm. Yi Yorong's master was the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm. Right now, he was only at the 9th level of the true martial realm. It seemed like he was at the 1st level, but his strength and cultivation was hundreds of thousands of miles weaker. Or could it not save Yi Yorong? What the hell was the point of going out then? The more he got to the peak realm, the more he would feel that it was incomparably huge, let alone the difference of 1 level. Long Fei was unhappy. Very unhappy. At this moment, the system suddenly beeped. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for imprinting the Ming clan's mark on his left arm and merging with the power of the underworld snake, merging with the super force of Ming clan and the heavenly fire. Heh. Automatic fusion? Long Fei trembled slightly. One had to know that he did not mention the matter of the fusion at all, which meant that the 3 energies had automatically fused into the Ming clan inscription space. Fusion? Fuse what? Long Fei asked. So what if the fusion is successful? Can you give me 37 billion experience? System, don't think that you can make up for it just like that. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish, the system beep sounded again. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully fusing with it. The power of the Ming clan's mark has been activated. You have obtained the second stage of strength, underworld fire. What? Long Fei's heart tensed up, and immediately checked the system. The underworld fire appeared. It appeared again. The power to instantly kill Ocean King. The strength that Long Fei desperately desired to cultivate. Finally, it had awakened. This is the second stage of power within the Ming clan's seal. The first floor was the super force of Ming clan. The second floor was filled with underworld fire. This was an incomparably savage power. Moreover, the Ming clan imprint on Long Fei's left arm was also completely imprinted out. An incomparably ancient tattoo seemed to be imprinting itself on every inch of his body. Long Fei moved and entered the Ming clan inscription space. The skyfire was gone. Replacing it was the dark purple underworld fire, shining quietly in the Ming clan space. Long Fei was instantly excited. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I don't need to level up to be able to do so. Long Fei's mind shook, his blood boiling, every pore on his body seemed to be ignited with fire, his eyes flashing with light. Zhao Haotian, Zhao Wuji, old monster of the Zhao family. Old witch. Wash your butts and wait, you will be blown away one by one. Boom. One step into the sky, rushing out of dark crack. Chapter 2577, The Demon Emperor. Chapter 2577, The Demon Emperor. Half an hour ago. The sky is about to brighten. On the city wall. Chief Captain looked up and saw that the dark crack was getting smaller and smaller. It had already become a very small hole, and it was impossible for anyone to rush out. The great senior brother clenched his fists tightly and said faintly, "I'm afraid." He did not continue. Because, at this moment, everyone's hearts were secretly tightened. They all knew that Long Fei might never come out. Xiao Dai sobbed, and her tears fell like rain. She shook her head and said, it can't be, it can't be. Long has experienced some difficulties before, he will definitely rush out. The boss has his own ways. The dark crack was cut through by a demon realm powerhouse that he summoned. Even if the dark crack is completely healed, he would still cut his way out. The big guy said innocently. Transformers stared at the crack that was getting smaller and smaller. Kai Lina floated in midair and also stared deadly at Su Yun. However, the dark crack was about to heal. None of them could get in. If they could charge in again, they would not hesitate. Chief Captain said, I believe that little junior brother will be able to rush out, and I believe that he will definitely be alive as well. There are some things that we have to do in his absence. Time is running out. We will enter the arena in the afternoon, and the evening will be God's sect gathering. It will also be the wedding banquet for Zhao Haotian and Yi Yorong. We will enter the arena in the afternoon, and the evening will be God's sect gathering. The great senior brother was very calm. He believed that Long Fei was still alive, but it was impossible for him to break through the dark crack that was about to heal. Since they could not rush out, then they had to do what Long Fei wanted to do. Tang Renjie stood up and said, You're right, there are some things that we must do. While they were talking, he turned his gaze in the direction of the imperial palace. Today is God's sect gathering. He's trying to rob our eldest sister-in-law, his grandmother. The thin monkey said fiercely. The great senior brother said, You are all Xian Yu sect's participating disciples. Before God's sect gathering, no matter what happens, do not reveal your cultivation, and wait for God's sect gathering. And then, the great senior brother looked at Tang Renjie and said, Your nose is sharp. With your current cultivation level, controlling the Zhao family powerhouse's whereabouts isn't difficult, is it? Also, that old demoness. Tang Renjie nodded his head. No problem, I can smell their fart wherever they go. Everyone was startled, and looked at Tang Renjie. Tang Renjie was also a little embarrassed as he said, Describe, I am just describing. The great senior brother replied, All right. Kong Kim, Kai Lina, you guys are in charge of the outer perimeter of the palace. Didn't Junior always want to take over the Zhao family? Didn't he want no one to bully Yi Yorong? If he is not here now, then we shall take his place. Let's take care of the Zhao family. Stomp that old demoness to death. The great senior brother replied loudly. All of the magic captains also stepped forward, their eyes gleaming with light. The great senior brother said, "There is still one more day to prepare. We will make this world tremble for Long Fei, and this world will tremble for us. Separate." Shua. The great senior brother turned into a ray of light and disappeared. 16 magic captains followed closely behind. Xiao Dai looked at the big-size man from the thin monkey and said, "We know the Xian Yu sect as well. If Along is not here, no matter what price I have to pay, I will not let the sister Yi marry a eunuch." And then, the three of them quickly disappeared as well. Tang Renjie looked at Transformers and Kai Lina. Transformers said, "The boss is still alive, I can feel his existence. I am his war pet, I know it better than anyone." Tang Renjie said with a bland smile, "No one thought that he was dead. He is still alive, but we do not know when he will come out. Shouldn't we prepare our sister-in-law before he comes out? Bring it on. Since the boss isn't here, we should be more domineering." Tang Renjie's gaze tensed up, he looked at Kai Lina who was in the sky and said, "Let's go." Shua. He jumped down from the high wall. Transformers also jumped and followed. Kai Lina was the same. Duke Palace, where the magic captains was located. In the yard, 16 magic captains gathered around one magic captains, and 16 different energies poured into his body, forming a small-scale formation. Power rumbled. Less than half a minute. The magic captains in the middle opened his eyes. The 16 streams of energy vanished. The great senior brother immediately walked forward and asked, "What did Master say?" The special ability that the disciple in the middle possessed was the ability to move his soul, allowing him to return to Magic Tribe with his soul within a few seconds. That was the report just now. Master didn't say anything. He told us to be careful. In addition, Master said that he would come personally. Whoever bullies his disciple will die. The expression in 17th Son of Devil's eyes darkened slightly. Although the Demon Emperor didn't blame them, but the words he said should have meant everything. He was furious. Moreover, they knew very well in their hearts what the consequences would be if their master got angry. "I'm afraid no one could stop it. Great senior brother, what do we do now?" Everyone looked at the great senior brother. The great senior brother replied, "Master is still not clear about our current strength. No matter what, we definitely cannot let the young junior's woman marry a eunuch." "You mean to ruin the wedding? I like it. Let's just finish off the Zhao family." "Yes, is to get rid of them." Everyone became excited. The great senior brother said, "Not only must we ruin the wedding, we must also crush all the so-called geniuses in the God's sect gathering. In the name of our little junior brother, crush them all. From this moment onwards, each and every one of us is called Long Fei." 16 magic captains' eyes were filled with excitement. At this moment, their ambitions were lofty, and their killing intent soared to the heavens. In the name of Long Fei, he had done everything. This was the only thing they could do right now. Not waiting for Master. The great senior brother said, "I can't wait anymore. If I wait for Master to arrive, I'm afraid the God's sect gathering's wedding will be over soon. If you want to use junior apprentice brother's words, then do it. In another place. Supreme God, are you sure you want to do this? Would he really have to sacrifice his dignity? In your eyes, is she really just a chess piece?" Yi Luxian said solemnly. His voice was a little shaky when he spoke. Moreover, there was a sword wound on his chest, and blood was still gushing out. The surroundings were a complete mess. Clearly, there had just been a battle. Xianming Master said coldly, "You have lost, so you still do not have the qualifications. As for me, as the Xianming Master, my words are my orders, everything. So what if I sacrificed her for the rise of the Ming clan?" Yi Luxian replied, "She's your disciple." Xianming Master said, "Even if she is my daughter, I will make the same decision." Yi Luxian smiled, looked at the old granny in front of him and said, "For the rise of the Ming clan, you are saying this one thing at a time, but is that really the case? Aren't you doing it for yourself?" As soon as he finished, Xianming Master's eyes were blazing with fire, impudent. Chapter 2578, Heavenly Lonely Netherstar, It Won't Be Long. Chapter 2578, Heavenly Lonely Netherstar, It Won't Be Long. Yi Luxian wanted to jump out of the Ming clan's restraints. The only way to jump out was to become the leader of the Ming clan and become the boss. Only then would he be able to change some of the rules of the Ming clan. To save his daughter. However, he had failed. The power of the Emperor Zhenwu's realm was far stronger than he had imagined. The strength of the Xianming master was also much more terrifying than he imagined. The challenge had failed. But he wasn't willing to accept it. As Yi Yorong's father, he could not just watch as his daughter ruined her life. Moreover, the current Ming clan could not even be considered to be struggling with life and death. Just like the edge of death, could he still rise up like this? In the most remote part of Universal Realm? How could he rise to prominence? How could he use this to rise up? With Yi Yorong's gifted soul of Underworld, he could rise just by absorbing the Zhao clan's imperial qi. Relying on this kind of power, it was impossible for the Ming clan to rise up. Yi Luxian was very clear on this point. In the past, because the Xianming master was still living in his dreams, he did not dare face reality head-on. Really? Was it really not for her to break through the shackles of the true martial emperor and ascend to a higher boundary? Was he really not selfish? Xianming master had lived for more than 500 years and the limit of true martial emperor's lifespan was 600 years. She was about to run out, so she was not a person who was willing to wait for death. Thus, Yi Luxian's words pierced right into her sore spot. With a deep voice, he said, "Presumptuous." Boom. The skies darkened as the boundless strength of a true martial emperor came crushing down. Poochie. Yi Luxian spat out a mouthful of blood. The sword wound on his chest was even more torn, and blood began to gush out. Yi Luxian fought a battle, he almost fell to the ground and revealed a blood-stained smile. Did I say anything wrong? When your lifespan is almost up, use Yorong as the bet. You want to absorb the qi of the Zhao family in order to achieve a breakthrough, and you want to live, isn't that your real reason for doing so? You're courting death. Boom. Xianming master replied heavily. It was as if thunder was rumbling. An endless amount of power surged towards Yi Luxian. Yi Luxian did not dodge, but he directly knelt to the ground as his tears flowed profusely. Mother, Yi Yorong is your granddaughter, can you not be so cruel? Suddenly, a sound was heard. Mother! Xianming master's gaze tensed up, his fists tightened, and at the same time, the aura of the endless Emperor Zhenwu's realm disappeared. No one knew the secret. Even Yi Yorong himself did not know. Xianming master let out a heavy breath, and said, "The person who has accomplished a great deed will not bother with small matters. But, you can't use your granddaughter's life as a bargaining chip. You clearly know that the Zhao family already knows about Yurong's sneak attack on Zhao Haotian. Could she be happy? I know that he is a gifted soul of Underworld, the fate of planet Tianji Yuming, but she is your biological granddaughter after all." Yi Luxian's tears fell. A father's tears. However, Xianming master's eyes were ice-cold. There was not a single trace of sympathy in his eyes as he said, "The moment the netherworld phoenix in her body awakened, this was her life. Even if she doesn't marry now, she won't be able to live for long. The limitless burning sword is indeed very poisonous, but there is no poison in this world that I cannot cure. Her life is already very short, and you know the fate of the solitary dark star better than anyone else. As long as I obtain the Emperor's qi, I will be able to find a miracle to break through and ascend. Once I enter the primordial plane, I will definitely try my best to find a way to break through the solitary dark star's barrier." Xianming master said sincerely and sincerely. However, these words could fool a 3-year-old child. Once she entered the central realm of Grand Mist, she wouldn't even remember these things. Zhenwu continent would be abandoned instantly, just like how her father was when he abandoned Yi Luxian. The Xianming master replied, "The super force of Ming clan has already appeared. I believe that there is still a chance for the Ming clan to rise up again. As long as we can find the person who possesses the underworld inheritance, he can definitely save Yorong." Yi Luxian felt his heart ache. Looking at the old granny in front of him, He knew that there was no longer any son in her heart, nor any granddaughter. All there was her lifespan. The higher the level of a person, the more afraid they would be of death. Because they knew what death was. Yi Luxian said in a daze, "We really can't let her go." Xianming Master looked into the distance with his hands behind his back. His eyes were ice cold, he did not say anything. Yi Luxian also slowly got up from the ground, and said slightly, "You are her grandmother, and I am her father. If you push her into the fire pit, I will do my best to save her. I will use my own life to save them, because she is my daughter." Finished. Yi Luxian walked away, one step at a time. Xianming Master squinted his eyes, which were filled with cold intent as he said coldly, "No one can stop me, and no one can destroy this wedding. No one. Anyone has a desire." When a person was controlled by their own desires, such as family, blood, and apprenticeship, all of this would be thrown away. There was no one more important than his own life. The Xianming Master only had a little bit of life left. If she did not take her life, and did not absorb the Emperor's qi to make a breakthrough, she would die of old age here. Absolutely not. Not long later, an old man walked over while bowing and saying, "Yi Luxian and Gui Qingshan have reunited. We should be discussing the matter of destroying the God's sect gathering." Humph. Xianming Master snorted. "Just the two of them?" The old man said, "In addition, Gui Qingshan's daughter and the two disciples have returned. The aura on their bodies is a little strange, as if it had become a lot stronger in one night." Xianming Master was even more disdainful. "No matter how strong you become, you're still trash at the elixir realm. Can you really become a powerhouse of the Zhenwu realm?" In her eyes, Xianyu sect was just a bunch of trash. Xianyu sect had never entered her eyes before. After pondering for a moment, Xianming Master said, "I have invested Gui Qingshan's true identity into the Zhao family. I believe that the Zhao family would be happy to quickly get rid of this legacy." The old man nodded, "Yes." Xianming Master asked again, "Oh yes, how is the search for the Lord of the Super Force of Ming Clan doing? Is there anything wrong with that?" The old man shook his head, "No, but there is an emissary who is sensing the aura of the Super Force of Ming Clan in the Divine Realm, but he is not sure. The capital? Here." Xianming Master's eyes flashed, and he said excitedly, "Could it be that they are here to welcome me? Ha ha ha. As long as I can obtain the power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance, I will become the strongest person in the Ming clan. Ha ha ha." Mad laughter rang out. At the same time, she was also looking forward to it. "I hope for the arrival of the owner of the super force of Ming clan." Because she felt that the master was here to welcome her into the universal realm. Chapter 2579, I Hit Everyone. Chapter 2579, I Hit Everyone Noon. Land Banquet. It was not beneath the capital, but in a huge building. A sea of people. Countless powerhouse that did not have the qualifications to enter the God's Sect gathering had come here, as well as the monstrous geniuses. Fight for a spot. God's Sect gathering's invitation card. All of the geniuses of the continent, including those who did not join any sect, or who did not have enough qualifications to join any sect, or who did not have enough power and influence in any sect, would all participate in the land banquet to the best of their abilities. As long as they could enter the God's Sect gathering, their names would shake the world. The big sects would offer them an olive branch, and even the royal family would ask them to stay. This was a chance to rise to the heavens in a single step. Who could miss this chance? Ha ha ha. I am entering the next round. There's definitely a place for lousy in the God's Sect gathering at night. Dream on, you think you can enter the God's Sect gathering with your little cat martial arts? What is it? You want to have a fight with lousy? Who's afraid of you? Don't let me meet you on the field, or else I'll beat you until you're crawling all over the ground. F***CK. If you have the guts, come at me now. And then, the fight began again. Many people in the surrounding area cheered loudly, all of them excitedly shouting. The scene was no different from the gamblers of the underground boxing ring. At this moment, a deep voice came out, Luo Yongsheng. Luo Yong. That rogue cultivator genius with divine level talent. I heard that he went everywhere to challenge the geniuses of the various sects, and in a year's time, directly trampled over 100 geniuses. He was even ranked in the top 100 of the Sky sect of Ling clan. I've also heard that many great sects have tried to invite him to join them, but he rejected them all. His goal is to do away with all the geniuses, and then obtain the invitation card from the God sect gathering to enter the God sect gathering, and then do away with all the geniuses. Amazing. I didn't expect him to participate. Then I won't have a chance this year. Everyone cast looks of disdain at him and said, "You're only in the chi refining stage. Let alone this year, I dare to look at it with contempt. F***CK. Can you stop slapping your face? I was just joking. Ha ha ha. Luo Yong was very strong. At the very least, his odds were the lowest because he was the strongest. It was said that he was rejected by a small sect when he was young, and from then on, he became extremely angry because of the opportunity to fuse with the holy vein, causing his cultivation to soar and become uncontrollable. From that time on, he no longer entered any sects or powerhouses, and he only relied on himself to create new power, but even so, the number of geniuses that were defeated by him in the past few years could be counted. He was a fierce person. The most popular candidate to be the champion of the land banquet. Next match, Lin Yu against Yang Tianqiang. Who are these two? I've never heard of it. He's probably just someone who wants to join in on the fun. In the land banquet's secret room. This was where the higher-ups of the land banquet resided. It was also where the competition was arranged. Outside, at the corridor. A youth not yet 20 years old stood at the door as he looked at the guard and said indifferently, "Go and report this to your boss. I have some matters to discuss with him." "Brat, who do you think you are? Is boss someone you can meet as long as you want?" As the guard spoke, he pushed against the youth's shoulder. It was just that. It took a lot of effort, but he couldn't push the teenager away. "Heh!" The guard was unhappy and shouted angrily, "You dare to push me back with your strength? Trash, see if I don't cripple you." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei moved his fist. Boom. His fist did not touch the guard, but the wind from his fist was like a tsunami, directly hitting his teeth out of his mouth. In an instant, his mouth was covered in blood. Long Fei did not even look at him, but looked at the other guard and said, "Can we go report it now?" The guard's eyes narrowed as his body trembled slightly. He immediately said, "Yes, yes, yes. I will immediately go report it." Walking into the hallway, he immediately shouted, "Brothers, it looks like someone is trying to wreck the scene. Hurry up and come out. Someone's going to ruin the scene." Brothers. Both sides of the corridor were rooms. Upon hearing that someone was outside saying that they would destroy the place, suddenly, one by one, the doors of the room were pushed open, and a group of muscular men walked out. In less than half a minute, the entire corridor was filled with people. "That reckless bastard wants to destroy our land banquet. I think he's tired of living. It must be a bunk next to the latrine. It's not far from death." All of them wore the same black robe, and their muscles swelled to the point where they were about to burst. There were also some big guys. They were about 2 meters tall and even bigger than the big guy. The youth stood at the entrance to the corridor. The guard who had his teeth knocked out hurriedly ran into the corridor and stood in front of the crowd. He pointed at the youth and shouted, "That's him." Everyone's eyes turned sinister. A savage gaze stared straight at the youth. "You dog. Come here and behave atrociously, you're courting death. Cripple him." Everyone walked towards the young man. The youth slightly raised his eyes and coldly said, "Get out of the way." The leader of the group suddenly exerted force, his massive body suddenly bursting forth like a human bomb. A cold light flashed in the corners of the youth's eyes. The moment the big man charged over, the youth slightly lifted his right foot. Bam! It was impossible to see how he was going to move at all. He could only hear a muffled sound, and then, the burly man's body was hanging on the wall, his legs twitching in midair. What happened? No one saw it. Those people were slightly stunned, but in the next second, they all rushed towards the youth. "Kill him! Kill him! Brat, your time of death has come." Savage to such an extent. It was like a black tide was pouncing over. The young man put his hands in his pockets, casually walking while occasionally waving his feet. Bang, bang, bang. A muffled sound. However, the walls on both sides of the corridor were full of people. His entire body was buried in it, with his head or legs exposed. He looked like a dead dog. From beginning to end, the youth didn't stop. Until only the guard in front, who had his teeth knocked out and was hiding in a corner with his head in his hands, was shivering. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I don't dare anymore, I won't dare anymore. The youth said coldly, go inform them. All right, I'll report it immediately. The guard scrambled out of the room and hurriedly said, Elder, someone wants to see you. The door to the secret room opened. An elder looked at the guard for a moment before replying, what is it? If there is nothing important, I will not forgive you. Before he could finish his words, looking at the people hanging on the walls of the corridor, his scalp tingled with numbness. At this moment, a gust of wind assaulted him as a youth stood in front of him and coldly said, arrange for me to hit everyone. Chapter 2580 Unconvinced. Hit me. Chapter 2580 Unconvinced. Hit me. The young man was Long Fei. Long Fei, who had rushed out from within the dark crack. When he saw that 17th son of Devil, Xiao Dai, and the others were not around, Long Fei did not panic. Without even thinking, he knew that they had become stronger, and thought that if he could not get out, he was definitely preparing for the night at land banquet. There was no need to meet up with them now. Long Fei made a trip out of the city and arranged a few things, then quickly entered the city, because he still had a quest to complete, God's Sect Gathering's invitation card. He did not want to enter the God's Sect Gathering as a disciple of the magic tribe. And the old demoness of Xian Yu sect would not give him the invitation card either. Now, he wanted to enter the God's Sect Gathering in his own name. This was the only way to obtain the qualifications to enter the God's Sect Gathering. Beat up all the participants from the land banquet. Long Fei did not register. Logically speaking, it was impossible for him to participate, so he could only use this method. Make the arrangements, I want to fight all the participants. Long Fei said coldly, he did not have any intention of pretending. With his current cultivation, did he really need to pretend? However, in the eyes of the elders, Long Fei was very pretentious, and could not help but laugh in disdain. Who do you think you are? Winning a few bodyguards was already amazing. Our land banquet will listen to you. F***ck. It's even worse than peeing. Not waiting for him to finish. Long Fei's eyes moved, his right fist striking out. The same. The fist did not touch the elder, and the elder did not retreat either. However, his teeth had fallen out of his mouth and he could not help but bleed profusely. He cried out in pain. The guard on the other side was trembling in fear, and his urine was oozing out from his mouth. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't understand. There was such a thing as a fist in this world. Woo woo. Woo woo. The elder held his mouth with both hands as he cried out in pain. At this time, several elders quickly walked into the room. The one leading them cried out, "What's going on?" When they saw the people hanging in the corridor, their eyes narrowed as they became on high alert. Long Fei was still as cold as ice. "I want you to arrange something. I want to fight all the challengers. If you don't want to, just give me God's Sect Gathering's invitation card." Cold and bland. There was no intention to put on an act, but, to those elders, Long Fei's act was absolutely lawless. An elder immediately shouted, "Who do you think you are? Give you the invitation card? Are you even worthy?" Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei's eyes moved slightly as he released the pressure of the Zhenwu realm. The elder did not even have time to react and directly knelt on the ground. The kneecap burst, blood gushing out, and both of its feet were crippled. Long Fei asked coldly, "Are you qualified now?" It was very plain. However, within the calmness was incomparable arrogance. Crushing everything. One had to know that this old man was an expert at the peak of the arrogant form state. He could not even take one idea. The leader of the elders immediately said, "This is something that we cannot handle. We need to report to the chief. Long Fei asked, how long will it take? The elder replied, 1 hour. Long Fei calculated the time and said, okay, I will wait here for you. Finished. Long Fei then walked into the secret room and sat on the chair. He rested his feet on the chair and closed his eyes. His stamina had been depleted tremendously, and he needed to rest for a while. Several elders hurriedly ran out. Not long later, in another place. What did you say? Gui Qingshan's brows tightened, and said. Someone wants to challenge everyone? Isn't this person too arrogant? Gui Qingshan was the mastermind behind the land banquet. It was also his secret stronghold in the capital. It was also the power he had hidden in the past. Hearing that someone was challenging everyone, Gui Qingshan's first instinct was to join the Zhao family. The great elder said, Great General, this person's cultivation is unfathomable. Third brother was instantly crushed to the point of kneeling on the ground. Gui Qingshan's eyes were filled with shock. Even someone at the peak of the arrogant form was instantly crushed. Could he be a Mahayana realm? Or was it the Zhenwu realm? Who is this? Logically speaking, there is no such genius in the Zhao family other than Zhao Haotian. Also, the Zhao family should be preparing for the gods' sect gathering with all their might. Do they have time to manage this place? The great elder asked, General, what do we do now? He's waiting in the secret room. If he doesn't agree, then he's going to snatch the invitation card. Gui Qingshan pondered for a moment, then said, if he wants to challenge, let him challenge us, but if he wants to challenge us, we have to follow our rules. Let's directly challenge him in unrestricted fighting technique. I want to see how strong he is. The head elder immediately nodded and said, all right, I'll do it right away. Everyone left. Yi Luxian walked out and said, he's even more arrogant than Luo Yong. This brat's personality. Gui Qingshan looked at the pale Yi Luxian and sighed, you mean Long Fei? However, the crack has already closed, and no one has come out, this kid. Sigh. What a pity, I even wanted to marry Xiao Dai to him. Yi Luxian said, he's my son-in-law, don't steal from me. Gui Qingshan said, you don't even have a daughter, what son-in-law are you? While they were talking, Gui Qingshan realized that his words were harsh and immediately said, Brother Yi, I didn't mean it that way. Yi Luxian laughed bitterly, as a father, I am truly useless. I can't even protect my own daughter. It was very hard. Not only that, but his mother's heartlessness was the most painful thing. Gui Qingshan said, don't worry, we will be able to save Yorong. It was very difficult. But Gui Qingshan would give it his all. Moreover, he knew that if he didn't try this time, he wouldn't have another chance in the future. If someone from the Zhao family was really brought back to God's tribe by an Inspector Heavenly Ambassador, it would be impossible for him to take revenge. Let's go. Come with me and see who's so arrogant. Gui Qingshan changed the topic. Yi Luxian originally did not want to go, he was not interested in watching the challenge competition at all. He was thinking about how to save his daughter. But now he didn't even know where his daughter was. Was hidden by the Xianming master. Who? Since there's still some time before the God's Sect gathering, let's go take a look. Yi Luxian followed Gui Qingshan out. In the arena, Long Fei stood there, his hands still pretending to be in his pockets. Unrestricted by rules? Challenge all the competitors? Is this person crazy? You must have gone mad trying to become famous, right? Even the top fighter Luo Yong wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. An elder stepped forward and said, there is no limit to the number of fights. We will fight until one side admits defeat and doesn't dare to fight while alive. If there is any death or injury during this period of time, we will not be responsible. Finished. The clan elder looked at Long Fei, and then walked down the stage. Who's going up? Who is going to teach this silly kid a lesson? Let's go. No one wanted to be the first one to go up, because no one wanted to be at a disadvantage. At this moment, Long Fei did not want to waste time. His gaze swept across the entire audience, and said pretentiously, I want to say, everyone sitting here are all trash. Everyone was furious. Everyone stared at Long Fei. His hatred exploded. However, this was the effect that Long Fei wanted. The corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back, and laughed in disdain. You don't accept it? Come up and hit me. Chapter 2581, The Genius of the Sky Sect of Ling Clan. Chapter 2581, The Genius of the Sky Sect of Ling Clan. If you can't accept it, then come up and hit me. Come on, scum. Long Fei did not want to waste time, and directly pulled the most intense hatred down onto him. It was to cause public outrage. To cause public outrage. At this time, many people's anger began to burn crazily. I have seen arrogant people, but I have never seen such an arrogant person. Kid, this is the land banquet. I've seen people seeking death, but I've never seen anyone seeking death in such a manner. He is looking down on our land banquet. Looking down on us. Let him see. After brewing for a few seconds. Whoosh. A voice popped up and flew towards the arena, mountain crossing, Chang Jian. As soon as he finished speaking, a sword light flashed, and the entire sky was filled with a strong sword intent, as it heavily smashed towards Long Fei, who was standing on the stage. The ordinary sword of the arrogant form state? Brother Chang, kill him. Let's see how he can still act so arrogantly then. From his appearance, you can tell that he's a desert leopard. Chang Jian, one-shot him. Chang Jian's face revealed disdain. He stared at Long Fei and said, "Brat, you will pay for your arrogance." Long Fei smiled faintly, and said, "You're right, there will be a price to pay." As soon as he finished, Long Fei lifted his right leg, bang, Yi Zichen kicked out. Immediately afterwards, the sword intent in the air was crushed and Chang Jian's sword suddenly shattered as well. His entire body fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string. Boom. He fell to the ground, unconscious. Everyone went silent. 1 move. Seconds. He didn't quite understand what kind of background this fellow had. Did you see that? That kid should be the one getting killed. Just when everyone was feeling confused, Long Fei once again said in an arrogant tone, "Forgive me for speaking bluntly, but if you do not attack together, you will not even have a chance. Bring it on. Scum, don't waste my time." He was even more arrogant and wild. Each and every contestant's anger was like a volcano erupting, and they could no longer suppress it. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Several young disciples with extraordinary strength flew up onto the arena. This is too arrogant. Why aren't you looking around even though you're acting cool? Brat, hand your life over. They were all very cruel. Both of Long Fei's hands were still in his pockets, and with a sweep of his eyes, he faintly said, "Too slow, too slow." Bang, bang, bang. Continuous kicks. A few figures were kicked away before they could even land on the stage. Everyone was dumbfounded. Long Fei said in disdain, "Is this the level of a land banquet? What a piece of trash." Still pulling at the hate. It was still causing public outrage. "Ah, brat, I'll fight it out with you. You dare to look down on land banquet? Who do you think you are? Can you bear it? I can't tolerate it. Let's go together." Doesn't he want to challenge everyone? Then let's go together and beat him to death. All of a sudden, more and more participants rushed towards the ring. Long Fei did not panic at all. With his current cultivation level, these people were not even qualified for him to make a move, they could only move. The thing he was thinking about now was, can an S-class mission give out 37 billion experience? Can it help me break through the Emperor Zhen Wu's realm? Can you reward me with a few super artifacts or something? This was the only thing on his mind. However, with the difficulty of this quest, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to accomplish any of the above, but, besides the mission, the most important thing was the invitation card. He had to get the invitation card. "General, no one can stop that kid." The Great Elder rushed up to report. Gui Qingshan was not present in the viewing gallery, so he did not know who the arrogant youth was. He could not help but frown and ask, "Where is Luo Yong? Have you fought?" The great clan elder shook his head. "Not at the moment, the current land banquet is a mess. Whether it's Golden Protector level warriors or arrogant form state warriors, all of them were killed in 1 move, and..." Gui Qingshan's brows sank as he asked, "And what?" The great elder said, Moreover, he only used one move, and only used his feet. His hands were always in his pockets, and from the beginning till the end, he did not move at all. Gui Qingshan trembled slightly, and said, "So arrogant." And then, Gui Qingshan suddenly stopped. His eyes suddenly darkened, and he suddenly turned around. The great elder was stunned. "General, what's wrong? Weren't you going to watch the Challenger League?" Gui Qingshan's eyes flashed with a murderous aura, the strength in his body also became heavy, and he said, "The Zhao family's assassination team is here. Just now." Yi Luxian transmitted to him. Gui Qingshan did not expect to be discovered so quickly. Moreover, it was still the Zhao family's assassination team. Back then, it was this assassination team that killed all of the Wei family's royalty, and killed his wife, children, and even his daughter's puppy. These scenes were imprinted in his mind and would not be forgotten for the rest of his life. The Grand Elder's gaze darkened. "Have you been discovered?" Gui Qingshan said, "Regardless of whether he is or not, it has nothing to do with you. Remember, if Luo Yong is not a match for Luo Yong, you can let Luo Xiu fight. No matter who that brat is, the invitation card of God's sect gathering cannot fall into his hands." Luo Xiu? The Grand Elder's face shook. Who is Luo Xiu? Others might not know, but he was very clear that one of the top 3 geniuses in the sky sect of Ling Clan was a super monster of the Zhenwu realm. If he were to fight, then, Gui Qingshan reminded, "Do you understand now?" The head elder nodded and said, "Understood." Gui Qingshan looked at a certain direction as his aura surged. His anger also surged. "Assassin team, you bunch of Zhao family lackeys, I want all of you dead today." Boom. With a tremble of his aura, his figure swiftly disappeared. The great clan elder stood at his original spot, and muttered, Luo Xiu. You really want him to fight? In the arena. Other than Long Fei, no one else could land. All of them were blown away by, the surroundings of the stage were filled with people who were on their last breaths, screaming in pain. Long Fei said, "There isn't even one that can fight. Is there anyone else who wants to go up? If no one else goes up, I will be the champion of Land Banquet. There's really no challenge at all." It was simply a smurf. Long Fei raised his gaze, looked in the direction of the host, and said, "It's about time to announce it, right? No one dares to come up anymore." Not waiting for him to finish. "Me too." Boom. His voice was like a thunderclap. The moment he finished speaking, an enormous figure fell heavily onto the ground. The corner of Long Fei's eyes lifted, and a leg kicked out. That person did not dodge. Instead, he straightened his body and blocked the incoming attack head-on. Buzz. A surge of power burst out, causing the huge body to take a few steps back in succession. A protective layer of light around his body also shattered and scattered, however. His body still lightly landed on the arena. Although his expression was one of shock. Similarly, Long Fei's expression was also somewhat shocked. He actually withstood it. The man forcefully suppressed his churning internal organs and threw out a punch. "I am Luo Yong," Long Fei said very straightforwardly. "Don't dick, let's start." Chapter 2582, The Battle of Idea. Chapter 2582, The Battle of Idea. Without further ado, he immediately went straight to the point. Luo Yong's chest was still hurting. At this time, if he were to give another kick, he reckoned that he would not be able to withstand it. He needed some time to recover. His eyes lit up as he said, "I still don't know your name." He needed to stall for time. After so many years of non-stop challenges, he hadn't lost a single time against the thousands of geniuses. At the same time, this was how his battle experience came to be. When he was heavily injured, he would think of a way to delay them because his blood vein could help him quickly recover. Even if he couldn't beat them, he could still use all his energy to kill them. He looked like Luo Yong was a huge guy, but he was very meticulous in his thoughts. Long Fei replied, "No need. An. It's useless no matter how much you recover, because the next move will cause you to fly out of the arena." Long Fei said indifferently. He was very clear what Luo Yong wanted to do. No matter how much time was given to him, it was useless. A realm was a realm. No matter how powerful the Mahayana realm was, it would never be a match for a 9th stage genuine force warrior. Luo Yong's face darkened after being seen through. Luo Yong, kill him. Don't give me any face, kill him ruthlessly. He is looking down on our land banquet, letting him know what strength is. F***ck, your elder's life was almost kicked to pieces. It hurts so much, beat him to the ground. I want to kick him 100 times to come back, ayo. Seeing Luo Yong fight, many people became excited. They crawled up from the ground while enduring the pain and placed all their hopes on Luo Yong. After all, Luo Yong had the holy vein. Moreover, he was also recognized as the strongest participant in the land banquet. Luo Yong looked at Long Fei and said, "You have angered the public." Long Fei was not annoyed at all. "I will give you 10 minutes to recover, is 10 minutes okay?" Luo Yong felt slightly awkward. He felt that Long Fei was the one who was watching him all the while. Since he knew it, there was no need to continue acting like this. Moreover, Luo Yong's fists sank as he said with a heavy voice, "No need, I have already fully recovered." Long Fei was shocked. He sensed that the holy vein was powerful. He did not expect it to be able to recover in such a short period of time. Very powerful. However, for me, it's still not enough. Long Fei squinted. First grade of the genuine force. Power surged. Luo Yong rushed over. This time, there was no defense. He dashed forward with all of his strength. His fists were shining with golden light, and each step left a deep footprint. His steps were as steady as a mountain, and his strength was as heavy as an ocean. Moreover, he was also a simple and violent person. However, in front of Long Fei, his level was too far apart. He lifted his right leg. Hualala. The strong wind was like a blade. His right leg turned and blocked Luo Yong, who was in front of him. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk. The power was so strong that Luo Yong's pupils violently shrank. All the power on his body was instantly crushed and turned into nothingness. If this kick came at him, his head might fly out. The strong wind howled. Luo Yong's robe made an explosive sound. His long hair flew in the air. His aura also disappeared. Seeing that, Long Fei retracted his right foot. Luo Yong took 2 steps back, then bowed and said, "I lost. Thank you, Lord, for not killing me." He was completely convinced of his defeat. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. How could this be? He hasn't even fought. How did he lose? Luo Yong, what are you doing? The dark, it is definitely the dark. Could it be that the brat is the illegitimate son of the boss behind the scenes in the land banquet? He won without even moving. That's impossible. Everyone started to clamor, but Long Fei ignored them. Only the weak would find excuses. He looked at the host and said, "I win, give me the invitation card." At the same time, he was also looking at the system, feeling puzzled. The Challenger League is already over. Why isn't there the sound of the quests being completed? What's the situation? System, are you broken? At this time, the Great Elder walked out, carrying a faint smile, and said, "Young hero, even though you have won the competition, you are still unable to obtain the invitation card." Long Fei's eyes darkened, and said, "Are you playing with me?" Killing intent filled his eyes. The Great Clan Elder immediately said, "I don't dare, you must fight again. If you win this battle, then the invitation card will be yours." Long Fei said, "Who do you want to fight? Was there anyone here who dared to fight? Could it be that I want to fight you?" The Great Elder said, "I'm not your opponent. As for who I'm going to fight against, look behind you." Long Fei's gaze tensed up. An aura silently descended from the sky like a ghost. Long Fei slowly turned around. Standing before him was a 20-something-year-old man with a saber in his arms. His long hair covered his face and his appearance could not be seen. Other than the Great Elder, no one present knew who he was. He was also the killing weapon of the land banquet. One of the top geniuses in the sky sect of Ling Clan, Luo Xiu. The monstrous genius that Gui Qingshan cultivated with all his cultivation resources for so many years. He wanted to take revenge on the God's sect gathering this year. However, he did not expect that there would be someone who could actually turn over his entire land banquet. He had no choice but to use this killing weapon. The great clan elder said, "As long as you can defeat him, God's sect gathering's invitation card will be yours." Long Fei looked at Luo Xiu, and faintly said, "Zhenwu realm." Luo Xiu raised his gaze, and an invisible idea rushed out, transforming into a berserk blade that chopped down at Long Fei. The saber was the overlord. This saber strike was extremely domineering. He was incomparably arrogant and felt that he was the overlord of Ling Tian. Long Fei's lips curled up slightly, and the idea moved as well. A single sword strike to form the sky, and no matter how powerful the overlord blade was, it would not be able to break the sky. Luo Xiu's gaze tensed up. The Zhenwu qi on his body exploded once again. Rumble. With an explosive sound, the overlord blade turned into a ferocious dragon, soaring up into the sky and messing up the sky. Then, it used its enormous mouth to swallow everything up towards Long Fei. It was incomparably violent. Long Fei was fearless, the idea's power suddenly burned. The overlord blade berserk dragon ignited the moment it came into contact with Long Fei's idea, and it continued to roar and scream miserably. Long Fei did not stop there. With the help of the idea, the berserk dragon that had been burned to death suddenly surged up, transforming into a fire dragon as it charged towards Luo Xiu. It was majestic. Just a moment ago, if his overlord blade dragon was a western lizard dragon, then this fire dragon was a Chinese dragon that could swallow the heavens and swallow the earth. Boom! It came crashing down. Luo Xiu's footsteps became heavy, he could not withstand it, and his body staggered a step back. Blood leaked from the corner of his mouth, and his eyes revealed unwillingness, but he had to admit, "I lost." The idea fought. It was the same with power. The idea were not low, and their strength was definitely not a match for the beast. When Long Fei looked at the great elder, suddenly, a door of the Earth sect was smashed open, and the golden-armored guard charged in. "Capture all of them. Kill anyone who dares to resist." Chapter 2583, Endless Time? Chapter 2583, Endless Time? The Imperial Guards suddenly rushed in. The entire audience was stunned. Everyone was dumbfounded. Only the great elder tensed up. As for the great general, he didn't dare to think any further. And then, the great elder quickly walked forward and bowed. With a smile on his face, he asked, "Master, what happened? We are currently in the middle of the land banquet selection. Was there a misunderstanding somewhere?" As he spoke, he handed over a space ring. However, the leader quietly took the space ring and asked coldly, "Who is in charge of this place?" The great elder replied, "Me." The commander waved his hand, "Seize him." The 4 golden-armored guards immediately surrounded the head elder, and with a move of their spears, they placed them directly on the head elder's neck. The 4 long spears immediately locked onto the head elder's neck. At this moment, the corners of the commander's mouth turned cold as he revealed a sneer. He icily said, "Kill." Suddenly, he didn't even give the grand elder a chance to react. The spears of the 4 guards moved at the same time, and the hooks on the spears fiercely stabbed forward. Long Fei shouted, "Wait." At the same time, Luo Xiu was even faster and did not say a word. The power of the Zhenwu realm immediately surged out and the strong pressure crushed the 4 guards. The great elder stopped his spear and broke out in cold sweat. The great elder said, "Master, there must be a reason for us to kill people, right? Why did you barge into our Earth sect pavilion for no reason at all?" "Reason?" The commander's gaze was locked on who was falling down. He laughed coldly. "Sins of the previous dynasty, is this reason enough?" The great elder's eyes narrowed. "Remnant of the previous dynasty? Who are the remnants of the previous dynasty? Who is it? Don't tell me it's someone from the Earth sect." Everyone whispered to each other, completely unaware of what the commander was saying. Long Fei's heart was startled. The remnants of the previous dynasty? Who is it? He did not know who the remnants of the previous dynasty were. They did not know Gui Qingshan's identity, nor did they know his true identity. However, and also at this moment, the commander stared at Luo Xiu, and the aura on his body suddenly exploded. Boom! An emperor's chi soared to the heavens. It directly shattered the pressure Luo Xiu released. The golden blade in the commander's hand moved, chopping down towards the great elder, shouting, "It's you, Shua." It was as if his saber was cutting through the air and was pulling up mountains and rivers with force. And it was a sudden burst of power, unleashing the power of the emperor's chi to its peak, instantly shattering Luo Xiu's suppression to pieces. He did not have time to react at all. This blade. Luo Xiu was unable to resist it. Great Elder's forehead was dripping with cold sweat, and his eyes were tightly locked. At this moment, the great clan elder shouted loudly, "Luo Xiu, run!" After saying that, he closed his eyes. He knew he was going to die. He could neither block nor block this blade. The force of this blade was going to be ferocious. However, after a few seconds, the blade did not fall. The first elder opened his eyes in confusion and saw a young man standing in front of him. It was the young man in the arena. He was somewhat puzzled. Moreover, he never thought that under such circumstances, Luo Xiu would be so close to him by one fold, yet he was unable to react in time, and this youngster was actually able to reach him within the arena in an instant. Then his cultivation. The great elder felt fear in his heart. What shocked him even more was that Long Fei only used his 2 fingers to hold onto the golden blade with such ease. Wow! Oh my god! Damn, this! It's too fierce. Awesome, my brother. They were all shocked by Long Fei's actions. Long Fei didn't even look at the commander, but looked at the great clan elder and said, "You haven't given me the invitation card yet, so you can't die yet." He did not care about anything else, but if the great clan elder died, where could he go to obtain the invitation card? Moreover, what confused Long Fei the most was that the mission was not completed yet. Logically speaking, Luo Xiu should be the boss of the Land Banquets Challenge competition. He should already have one. Why hasn't he completed it yet? From the looks of it, the Challenger League quest continued. The headmaster was stunned and did not know how to react. The commander, however, was enraged. "You dog, I think you are tired of living." The golden broadsword fiercely lashed out. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. With a twist of the commander's body, he drew an arc in the air as the power of Zhenwu realm surged forth from his entire body. Buzz! The emperor's aura surged. It hacked down towards the top of Long Fei's head. Die! At this time, the corner of Long Fei's eyes coldly glanced at the commander. Seeing the faint light appearing under his feet, he said indifferently, "Elite monster? Although I need 37 billion experience points to level up, but the mosquito leg is also meat." His body changed. Whoosh! Long Fei's figure disappeared. Immediately after, a dark black excess glow appeared on the commander's body. Forbidden, profound mysteries. Die! Long Fei moved. The power of the 9th stage of the genuine force gushed in. Once he released a skill, Long Fei's figure once again landed on the spot, and then, he directly ignored the commander without even looking at him. Ah! His blade slashed towards Long Fei. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. But, just as Dao Feng was about a centimeter away from Long Fei's scalp, the commander's body suddenly sunk. Crack! The sound of his body splitting apart. Phut! Unable to hold back at all, he spat out a mouthful of blood. In the next second, his body split into 4 pieces, and blood flowed all over the floor. His eyes were widened in fury, and he didn't even know how he died. At the same time, the system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing commander of the Imperial City for obtaining 1 million experience points, 100,000 true chi points, and 5 arrogant god energy value. Ding! Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining 1/10 of the commander of the Imperial City's cultivation and converting it into 900,000 experience point. Not bad. Nearly 200 million in experience points, and 37 billion, then I need to kill. Fuck, is 200 Zhenwu realm S enough? Long Fei shouted excitedly. Luo Xiu looked at Long Fei, dumbstruck. Everyone in the arena looked at him, dumbstruck. Everyone was stunned. The Zhenwu realm, and the powerhouse that was cultivating Emperor's Qi, was actually killed in an instant. One-hit kill. How strong was this? Even the bodyguards began to tremble. Wasn't this too terrifying? Long Fei looked at the great elder who was staring at him, dumbstruck, and said, "Do I look handsome? Hurry and hand over the invitation card." The great clan elder regained his senses, and muttered, "Oh, that, good, you just killed the imperial city commander, instantly killed him. Is your cultivation at Emperor Zhenwu's realm?" He couldn't help but ask. Long Fei said, "Don't try to build a relationship with me, I'm just unhappy with him. Give me the invitation card, I'm in a hurry." As for instant death, the damage of the absorbing skill was not that explosive, it was just that Long Fei's current level was so low that he could instantly kill him. This was the advantage of level. The higher the level, the damage would be. At this moment, a shadow flashed, and a thin dagger suddenly slashed towards Long Fei's throat. The assassination team had arrived. Chapter 2584, All Must Die. Chapter 2584, All Must Die. Long Fei's reaction was beyond ordinary. At that moment, his body jerked violently, a completely subconscious reaction. Slash. A crack in space appeared just where he stood. If he was hit by this move, then his head would be separated from his body. A sneak attack didn't work. A black shadow revealed its true form. He was dressed entirely in black, and even his head was covered by a black scarf. His eyes were exposed, and he was dressed completely like a ninja of some island. His appearance shocked the Imperial guards. The ninja man said in a deep voice, "What are you waiting for? Kill them all. F***ck. It's been endless, isn't it? A sneak attack is one thing. He's even F***king dressed in the appearance of a ninja. Just looking at him makes me feel disgusted." The anger in Long Fei's heart surged. Initially, the anger in his heart had been disrupted time and time again. And now, he even had the face of a ninja. This made him even more unhappy. The great clan elder rushed from the side and said solemnly, "Luo Xiu, leave quickly. We've already been exposed here and the general is probably in trouble." 16 years ago, the assassination team was an existence of a super powerhouse. They were the most mysterious and the most powerful army in the Zhao family. A total of 100 people. From the looks of it, these 100 people were all at Zhenwu realm cultivation level. In addition to the Emperor's Qi that he had secretly cultivated, ordinary Zhenwu realm was simply not a match for him. No matter what. Even Luo Xiu could not die. His status was special, he definitely could not die. However, without waiting for Luo Xiu to speak, Long Fei's right hand moved, and the sky sword landed in his hand. He said solemnly, "Originally, I only wanted to start a massacre at night, since all of you are sending yourselves to your deaths, then let's start now." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's figure disappeared. Buzz. The coercion of the peak Zhenwu realm pounced over like a surging wave, directly crushing everyone present. The entire Earth Sect pavilion was filled with the aura of Long Fei. No one could escape his senses within this aura. Shua. He raised his hand, the sword fell, and the head rose. The system beeps cry. Ding. Shua. Another head flew into the air. Ding. Shua. The head flew up again. Blood spurted out wildly. The entire scene was like a massacre. The Imperial guards were completely crushed and could not move at all. Only the powerhouse of the assassination team was locked in place. But he was also unable to lock onto Long Fei's figure. Not only that, the aura emanating from the Earth Sect pavilion made it impossible for him to hide himself. "Kid, who exactly are you? You dare to go against the Zhao family? Have you thought about the consequences?" The man in black said in a deep voice. "Shua." Another head floated up as Long Fei asked, "What are the consequences? Can you eat it?" He was here to rob the Zhao family. As for the consequences, Long Fei had never thought of this before. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk. A second later, the sword struck out continuously. Heads flew. The 100 Imperial Guards who had rushed into the Earth Sect pavilion fell to the ground. In this very second, Long Fei pointed his long sword at the center of the black-clothed man's brows. "Like a death god," he said, "have you thought about the consequences if you go against me?" The man in black didn't dare to move. His palms were covered in cold sweat. The difference was too great. Too big. His cultivation had been completely crushed. His eyes narrowed as he said, "Right now, if you stop and come back, you will die a miserable death." The tragic word had yet to leave his mouth. Long Fei moved his right hand, causing the sky sword to stab fiercely. Boom. A sword pierced the head. Long Fei said indifferently, "You may not be able to see how miserable my death will be, but it's actually a bit tragic for you." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing assassination bodyguard for obtaining 1 million experience, 100,000 true chi points, and 5 arrogant god energy value. It was a pity. The absorbing skill was cooling and could not be released. Otherwise, he would be able to earn more experience. Long Fei turned around and looked at the great clan elder, and said, "Now that we are all dead, at least give me the invitation card, right?" Damn it. It's really hard to get an invitation card. Long Fei was a little depressed. The great clan elder couldn't react in time. He heavily swallowed his saliva as he looked at Long Fei, and said, all right, I'll immediately." At this moment, an Earth Sect elder rushed in, covered in blood, and said, "Great elder, this is bad. The great general has been captured." The next second, Luo Xiu suddenly rushed out, "Uncle Gui." The head elder couldn't stop him even if he wanted to. Long Fei also muttered, "Uncle Gui? Wasn't the great general Zhu Yaozong? How did you become Uncle Gui?" "Uncle Gui?" Immediately, Long Fei's heart tightened. He had a feeling that Uncle Gui could be Gui Qingshan. In that instant, he did not care about the invitation card and with a leap of his body, he charged out like a fine line in an instant. "Gui Qingshan. No, I should call you Gui Zhonyang. No, to be exact, it should be General Gui Zhonyang. Ha ha ha." A man wearing plain clothes stepped on Gui Qingshan under his feet, and started laughing sinisterly. His aura crushed the pale-faced illusion not far away. The street was full of people. The ninja man said loudly, "Look carefully, this is the great general of our previous dynasty. Ha ha ha. How about it? The feeling of being stepped on by me must feel really good, right? You escaped and caused me to be whipped. Today you have fallen into my hands. I will make you beg for death." Ah, ha, ha. He laughed maniacally and proudly. There were many wounds on Gui Qingshan's body, his face was pale white, he gasped for breath and said, "I am truly regretting that I did not kill you at that time." Ha ha ha. Do you regret it? It was you who brought me into the capital, it was you who allowed me to reach the pinnacle of power, only. You're in the wrong team, ha ha ha. Resisting the man's sinister laugh, he said, "Oh right, I forgot to tell you something. Mistress Taste is really good, you don't even know how coquettish she is. She is twisting around my crotch like crazy, I really should let you see it with your own eyes. 16 years have passed, even now I still can't forget Mistress's slutty, ha ha ha." Ah, ah. Gui Qingshan roared madly, "Shu Tianfu, I want to kill you, I want to kill you." He fell into a frenzy. The ninja man became even more excited and laughed sinisterly, ha ha ha. Back then, Mistress had also done the same thing. Do you know why she was doing this? Because she watched helplessly as her daughter was taken away by me. Ah, ah. Gui Qingshan madly attacked and roared, but was unable to break through the pressure of the Zhenwu realm. Yet he was fiercely stepped on by Shu Tianfu. It was worse than death. Yi Luxian was also doing his best, but with 2 assassination bodyguard in front of him, the 2 of them were pressing down heavily with their Zhenwu realm's power, and couldn't do anything. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Shu Tianfu laughed out loud. At this moment, Long Fei rushed out, and looking at Gui Qingshan's painful howl and Yi Luxian's bleeding body, he roared out, "Fuck your ancestors." Chapter 2585 Explosions along the way. Chapter 2585 Explosions along the way. A furious roar. His anger exploded. He couldn't suppress it. Moreover, he had heard all of the things Shu Tianfu had said. There was actually such an animal in this world. If he did not kill them, Long Fei's anger would never subside. Boom. The power of the Zhenwu realm exploded. The corner of Shu Tianfu's mouth curled up slightly. Looking at Gui Qingshan at his feet, he said, "He must be the last survivor of the Wei family, right? I can't believe it. He actually broke through the Zhenwu realm. However, today, even if it's the Emperor Zhenwu's realm, he won't be able to escape death." Seeing Long Fei appearing, Gui Qingshan's eyes narrowed. It was hard to tell if he was happy or sad, but it was because Long Fei had escaped from the dark crack. It was because Long Fei was in a hopeless situation. Immediately, Gui Qingshan said heavily, "Long Fei, don't worry about me, run, run." Yi Liuxian was the same as Gui Qingshan, and said, "Kid, live on, you must live on, understand? Hurry up and run. Flee." Long Fei took one step at a time, and the bluestone bricks on the ground became like cotton, forming a deep crater from his stomp. He said darkly, "Ever since I came to this world, I have been running, and am really King running away enough. If I don't flip over the Zhao family today, I, Long Fei, will write the 2 words backward." Long Fei said as he grinded his teeth, feeling extremely infuriated in his heart. "Ha ha ha. Overturn the Zhao family? Brat, you're not big, but your tone is not small. Why didn't you say that you wanted to flip the sky over?" Shu Tianfu laughed coldly, as the expression in his eyes flickered. In the air. His killing intent filled the air and turned sinister. There seemed to only be a few assassination bodyguards standing around, however. There were no less than 20 assassination bodyguards hiding in the surrounding area. Every single one of them was a Zhenwu realm. Such a huge assassination team was too terrifying. Most likely, no one in the entire continent would be able to block their assassination. However, to Long Fei, this was more than 2 billion experience points. Gui Qingshan was still shouting loudly, "Flee quickly, you are not his match, quickly leave this place, quickly." Shu Tianfu glanced at Gui Qingshan and said, "Since you're so nervous about him, then he must be that evil Wei Xiu? Hee. I've searched for 16 years, but I didn't expect that I would finally find it today. Ha ha ha. Kid, I can tell you for sure that you are dead." As soon as he finished, Shu Tianfu's eyes turned cold. Immediately, a murderous intent filled the air as numerous black figures shot towards Long Fei like lightning. It was too fast. Furthermore, the auras of the 8 figures linked together, forming a huge net made of the power of the Zhenwu realm, tightly sealing Long Fei inside. Seal off all paths of retreat. Yi Liuxian's eyes darkened. Damn it. Gui Qingshan's heart was bleeding. He should have gone to watch the Challenger League earlier and known that the challenger was Long Fei. But now, with 8 Zhenwu realms working together, even if Long Fei was at the Zhenwu realm level, he still wouldn't be able to block it. However, the corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up as he flipped with his right hand. He placed the lightning-fast weapon in his hand. Underworld Thunder. It had no other uses for the super artifact that had exploded out of the Underworld Snake's body. Its only use was to be able to release the Underworld Thunder's lightning. True essence poured in. The power at the peak of Stage 9 of the genuine force suddenly moved. With his right hand, he grabbed the Underworld Thunder and fiercely smashed it into the ground. The black lightning bolts raged out, while Long Fei grabbed the black lightning bolts and swept them away. Crack. Hualala. 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 The black light shot into the sky, and everything around them was enveloped by the black lightning. The moment the 8 assassination bodyguards touched the Underworld Thunder, their internal organs were immediately ripped apart, and black blood wildly surged out. Less than a second. The bodies of the 8 assassination bodyguards of the Zhenwu realm began to crack as chunks after pieces of their flesh fell out. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei 4 killing assassination bodyguard for obtaining 1 million experience, 100,000 true chi points, and 5 arrogant god energy value. The system beep went berserk. 800 million experience gained. At this moment, Long Fei seemed to have seen the hope of breaking through to the true martial emperor before God's sect gathering. If he could keep killing like this, the Emperor Zhenwu's realm could truly break through. 8 people fell to the ground. Yi Liuxian's eyes darkened, and immediately became excited. Good boy. Gui Qingshan was also shocked. He muttered, "This brat's luck is heaven-defying, seems like he had another fortuitous encounter." However, Xu Tianfu's face was extremely ugly. The 8 assassination bodyguards were all Zhenwu realm. But he had been instantly killed. Even he couldn't do it. Xu Tianfu looked at the underworld thunder in Long Fei's hands and said gloomily, "The weapon is not bad, but it should be more suitable for his master." In that instant, Xu Tianfu's eyes moved again. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk a total of 16 assassination bodyguards rushed out from their hiding spots. Array formation. Killing array. Xu Tianfu shouted and the 16 of them quickly formed a formation. The auras of the 16 people were intertwined together. This power could be compared to the power of the Emperor Zhenwu's realm. Adding Xu Tianfu, it would become even more powerful. Long Fei's eyes swept the area, and said, "Formation? Hee. Then I'll change a weapon." When the underworld thunder was kept, in the next second, Long Fei was carrying a gigantic tombstone on his shoulder. He had taken it from the Demon Emperor, and even opened the dimensional secret world within the monolith. The huge tombstone carried a shoulder, and its aura carried the wind and lightning. Xu Tianfu laughed coldly, and said, "I didn't think that you would have already prepared a tombstone for yourself. I have to say, you've been very thorough in your preparations." Ha ha ha. The laughter faded. Xu Tianfu's eyes tensed up. Do it. 16 Zhenwu realm powerhouses made their move at the same time. With an explosive burst of power, a series of explosive sounds was emitted from the surrounding space. The strength was too great. He couldn't even withstand the pressure of space. One sword. It pierced towards Long Fei. Shua. The power gathered by the 16 assassination bodyguards was like a giant, slashing down at Long Fei. The Nantian monument in Long Fei's hand fell down heavily. Boom. He landed on the ground. A shock. The earth trembled, and the entire imperial city was shaking. Long Fei's hands formed a seal, about to break the index finger. As the blood essence scattered, it fell onto the Nantian monument and was instantly sucked into it. Wang. Asterisk buzz. At this moment, deep within the imperial palace, the sky envoy's gaze tightened. Nantian monument. His mind was shocked. Long Fei's eyes were gloomy. He did not care about the 16-man killing array, but stared at Xu Tianfu. Killing array? Dog's hit formation is more or less the same. Break for me. The stone tablet disappeared, and just like a huge seal, the overturning power of the heavens came crashing down heavily, directly smashing onto Xu Tianfu's head. Chapter 2586, Kneeling. Chapter 2586, Kneeling. The blood essence was drawn, and the Nantian monument was used as the array core. With a thought, the Nantian monument rose, and also smashed down in an instant. It directly flew towards Xu Tianfu's head. With the sudden change, Xu Tianfu squinted his eyes slightly as he looked at the stone which was flying towards him. The corner of his mouth slightly curled up as he sneered. And then, he pulled Gui Qingshan, who was standing on the ground, up and sneered, "Did you see that? This is your tombstone, don't worry, I will carve some words for you on it." What should I engrave? His wife is being toyed with, his daughter is being toyed with, he has spent his entire life hiding in the dog hole, he is just a piece of trash, what do you think? Gui Qingshan growled, and immediately said to Long Fei, "Don't worry about me, kill him, kill him, kill him, ah." Insanity and insanity. If there was a 10% chance of success, Gui Qingshan would risk his life to kill Xu Tianfu. His cultivation was not a match for Xu Tianfu at all. After 16 years, Xu Tianfu was already a high-leveled powerhouse of the Zhenwu realm. He couldn't kill her. He hoped that Long Fei could kill him, even if it cost him his life. Long Fei. Don't worry about me. Kill him, Gui Qingshan shouted. However, Shu Tianfu said with a complacent smile, Brat, kill me. Let's see if he will die first, or if I will die first and kill the person who took care of you. At this moment, Long Fei frowned. Also at that moment, the Nantian monument suddenly stopped in mid-air. Shu Tianfu became even more proud and said, Now that's obedient, ha ha ha. He was secretly delighted in his heart. Gui Qingshan was his weakness. No matter how strong he wasn't afraid of him being stronger than the great emperor of the genuine force. His right hand moved. He immediately grabbed Gui Qingshan's throat, stared at Long Fei and bellowed, Brat, kneel down. Gui Qingshan shook his head. At the same time, the power of 16 Zhenwu realm S gathered and once again struck towards Long Fei's head. Thunder roared in mid-air and the surrounding space was warped. He's dead for sure. This kid is dead for sure. I didn't expect him to be the remnants of the previous dynasty. Is he the descendant of the Wei family? What a pity. In front of the assassination team, he's still too weak. That's right. From then on, there is no one in Wei family anymore. All sorts of discussions broke out in the surroundings. Seeing Long Fei standing there in a daze, they thought that he would die the next second. However, they simply didn't understand Long Fei and didn't know what he was waiting for. Shu Tianfu's expression turned sinister, and he became even more pleased with himself. You dog, I made you kneel down, did you not hear me? If you don't kneel down, I'll wrench off his head. Kneel. Rumble. With a deep voice, the thunder in the air became more and more intense. At this moment, a system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding. Target locked. Long Fei's eyes flashed with a glimmer, and she coldly asked, Who do you think you are? Can you *** King Bear kneeling down? The aura on his body underwent a sudden change. His eyes changed drastically as well. Shu Tianfu's mind trembled slightly. He had a bad premonition, but he believed that Long Fei would not do anything to him, because he still had Gui Qingshan's card. A Nantian monument's attack could kill Gui Qingshan, but Gui Qingshan would definitely kill him. Shu Tianfu disdainfully said, You dog, I think you won't die even if you don't kneel in front of Huang Quan, right? Then let's just watch as this general from the previous dynasty dies. Exerting force with 2 fingers, Shu Tianfu's aura exploded. At the same time, the attacks of the 16 Zhenwu realm assassination bodyguard S also descended. Long Fei didn't even look at him and only coldly replied, The one who died is you, it's just that you still don't know it. Shua. The Nantian monument descended. Shu Tianfu laughed sinisterly, Kill him first. He suddenly raised Gui Qingshan up into the air. Gui Qingshan looked at Long Fei with eyes full of gratitude, and muttered, Brat, I thank you. I'm here. He closed his eyes. In this sort of situation, he was dead for sure. If he could perish together with Shu Tianfu, his life would be more than enough. But, after pausing for half a quarter of an hour, the Nantian monument did not land on his body. He could not feel the slightest bit of pain, and as he slightly opened his eyes, he discovered that there were no traces of the Nantian monument. Shu Tianfu was also stunned. Ha ha ha. Are you trying to scare me? Didn't I say it before? You wouldn't be able to use its power even if a trash treasure like you fell into your hands. Ha ha ha. Shu Tianfu laughed wildly. However, at this moment, his body suddenly sank. An unbearable power caused him to instantly kneel on the ground. Bam! The ground cracked, the kneecap shattered, and dark red blood flowed out. Shu Tianfu's face instantly turned incomparably pale, and his throat started to roll. He spat out a mouthful of black blood. His pupils constricted and his entire body trembled uncontrollably. What is this? What's in my body? Kneel down in front of so many people. He knelt in front of Long Fei. He was kneeling as straight as a tombstone. The key was, Shu Tianfu couldn't get up at all. At this time, the power and pressure of the 9th stage of the genuine force on Long Fei's body erupted. The power of the Nantian monument formation I also erupted. The idea sank, break for me, rumble, rumble, rumble. His strength soared to the heavens, directly sending the 16 incoming Zhenwu realm powerhouse flying out. Bang, bang, bang. One by one, they were sent flying into the air and at the same time, landed straight on their knees. The ground cracked and the kneecap shattered. They were all the same. 16 Zhenwu realm were inserted into the ground like 16 tombstones. This scene shocked to the point of exploding on the surface. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. When Yi Luxian saw this, his blood boiled, his eyes shone with excitement as he said, "Good boy, awesome." He couldn't help it. He was shocked. Breaking through the formation with a single move and crushing the opponent with a single blow, this sort of power was simply too great. How did you do it? Too awesome. Oh my god, what did I just see? These assassination bodyguard did not even kneel before the emperor. To think that all of them would kneel on the ground today, ha ha ha. Too powerful. Is there anyone more eye-catching than him? It seems like the previous assembly is going to turn over. Turn over. The real powerhouse is a core member of the Zhao family. Furthermore, with the Zhao family's grand ancestor present, even if the Wei Guo immortal was here back then, it would be useless. Long Fei slowly walked towards Xu Tianfu, and coldly laughed. Does kneeling feels good? I guess it must be very satisfying, right? Chapter 2587, 100 Zhenwu Realm Powerhouse. Chapter 2587, 100 Zhenwu Realm Powerhouse. 8 players were killed. The 17 assassination bodyguards kneeled on the ground. This scene. This was the first time since Zhao Guo established his country. Moreover, the assassination team only listened to Zhao Wuji, they did not even need to kneel in front of him. However, right now, all of them were kneeling in front of Long Fei. This was a slap to the faces of the Zhao family members, and a slap at that. His entire body was struggling with all his might, but it was useless. It was just that he was unable to break through and obtain the strength that could crush him, and for this reason, he said ruthlessly, "You dog, if you dare touch a single hair on my head, I will make your entire family die a graveless death. I am Xu Tianfu. If you dare to kill me, no matter where you run, you will die. Don't even think about peace for the rest of your life." Before he could finish his words, Long Fei laughed coldly. "Don't worry, I won't kill you. The harm I gave you just now was already enough, but someone will kill you. Uncle Gui, I'll leave it to you." Gui Qingshan slowly stood up from the ground. He clenched his fists tightly. Revenge, resentment. Gui Qingshan walked in front of Xu Tianfu. Xu Tianfu's body faintly trembled as he said, "Gui Zhonyang, what are you trying to do? If you dare to touch me, the Zhao clan will not let you off. If you touch me, I will." Not waiting for him to finish, Gui Qingshan slapped him. Use all of his Mahayana realm. Bang. It was incomparably loud. Instantly, the 5 finger marks on Xu Tianfu's face became clearly visible, and quickly became red and swollen, with blood hanging from the corner of his mouth. His hair was disheveled, and he looked to be in an extremely sorry state. Xu Tianfu really wanted face. After being slapped in public, the anger in his heart could no longer be quelled, but even with such powerful rage, he was still unable to break through the shackles of his body. "Ah!" Xu Tianfu roared in madness, "Gui Zhonyang, I want to die." Not waiting for him to finish, Gui Qingshan slapped him again with the back of his hand, again with all his strength. The veins on Xu Tianfu's forehead stood out as he said in a heavy tone, "Gui. Pa." Yet another slap on the face. Blood spurted out of his nose. Xu Tianfu was crushed by the Nantian monument stone, the strength on his body could not move at all, and it was the same for his defense. In front of Gui Qingshan in the Mahayana realm, he was just an ordinary person. Gui Qingshan's face was expressionless as he fiercely slapped his opponent. Pa, pa, pa. And just like this, under a dozen or so slaps, Xu Tianfu's face was swollen like a pig's head, and his cheeks were indistinct with blood and gore. Half of his life was left. Xu Tianfu was unable to take care of himself, and a begging voice came out of his throat. "Master, master, please let me go, I beg you, please spare me, I won't dare anymore, I beg you. Pa. Yi Zichen slapped him. Shu Tianfu was furious again. Gui Zhonyang, you dog, when your wife was groaning under my crotch, you took your daughter who had just turned 10 years old into. Pa. Yet another slap on the face. Gui Qingshan was not angry, nor was he angry. Just like that, he slapped his face hard like a madman. Who knew how many times he had slapped? Anyway. After about half an hour. Finally. Shu Tianfu's neck started to crack. There wasn't a single bit of flesh on his head, only a bloody skull. The eyeball exploded. His nose was gone. His mouth was gone. His ears were gone. Even the skull was full of cracks. Shu Tianfu had died a long time ago, but Gui Qingshan still did not stop with his hands. He slapped Shu Tianfu fiercely with his palms until Shu Tianfu's head fell onto the ground. What kind of hatred was this? What kind of hatred? The system sounded out. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Shu Tianfu for gaining 150,000 experience, 1023,000 true chi points, and 5 arrogant god energy value point. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. A few junk dropped. Yi Luxian walked up to support Gui Qingshan, looked at his badly mutilated hands, and whispered, "He's dead, he's already dead." At this moment, Long Fei looked at the 16 kneeling assassination bodyguard once more. The Ju-Q sword moved. A sword chi slashed out and 16 heads flew into the air. Ding, 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 ding. A series of explosions rang out. His experience points had risen by another huge amount. Awesome. With this sort of speed, I really have a chance to break through to the true martial emperor level. Long Fei seemed to see hope. The Zhao family's background was far stronger than he had imagined. Just from this assassination bodyguard's cultivation, the Zhao family still had a lot of Zhenwu realm S. This is just the assassination team. There were also the foreign delegates who had been attached to the Zhao family all these years, and the powerhouse S who had been nurtured as well. Thinking of all these, Long Fei became even more excited. The surrounding people looked at Long Fei, and all of them revealed expressions of fear. I have never seen such a scene, where so many Zhenwu realm powerhouse S died in one go. Yi Luxian supported Gui Qingshan and said, "Let's talk inside." Long Fei nodded. Looking at the people around him, he said, "Some of the Zhao family dogs go back and inform them to come quickly. I can't endure the thirst anymore." He really hoped that he could attract a large number of super powerhouse. He would be able to gain another wave of experience for nothing. "Uncle Gui, Sovereign, why have you come to the godly capital?" "Right. Why are you guys being killed by the Zhao family? How did you guys get exposed?" Long Fei asked. He now knew Gui Qingshan's identity as the great general of the dynasty. Gui Qingshan looked at Yi Luxian. Yi Luxian frowned, and said, "It was Xianming Master who informed the Zhao family." "It's that old hag again." Long Fei's eyes flashed with anger. Yi Liuxian's eyes revealed a look of pain. "Gui Qingshan, 17th son of devil, and the others are preparing to cause a ruckus for God's sect gathering today. They did not know that you had just come out from Dark Crack, so you have to quickly go to the Imperial Palace." Long Fei's mind shook, and said, "All right. But what about you?" Gui Qingshan laughed heartily, and said, "Don't worry about us, we are already half buried in the ground. Moreover, I have avenged my great vengeance, and I have no regrets in this lifetime." "Brat, thank you." Long Fei replied, "What are you saying? If not for you and Sister Xiao Dai, I would have been eaten by wild wolves a long time ago." "Right." Long Fei asked, "How many people do you have left?" Gui Qingshan said, "All these years, the people that I have groomed are not on the stage at all. The Zhao family is much stronger than what I imagined." He was slightly discouraged. However, this was the truth. The Zhao family was like a towering tree, unshakable. Long Fei said, "Just tell me how many people are there." Gui Qingshan said, "A lot. Why are you asking this?" Long Fei took out a space ring from his bosom and said, "There are 100 strands of energy inside that can allow 100 people to instantly break through the city's Zhenwu realm. You can also fuse them." With 100 Jinwu Realm S, plus the 17th son of Devil and the rest, will they be able to shake the Zhao family? Yi Luxian and Gui Qingshan looked at each other, their blood boiling with excitement. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.